Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Geek First episode 378. And you know what that means? It is a good old newscast. I am the exalted one, Trasnell. And I'm joined by the man in the red hoodie.
I am the Taylor Field of Fields, Taylor Field.
And I'm joined by our other light boy cohort. You got lights
Light
like
boy.
me. You got lights like me up top. Kirklin Patzer.
Oh, I do. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you mentioned this all the time.
I
Whatever.
am the friendly neighborhood caster, Kirklin Patzer.
We have the almost birthday girl.
Oh shit, that's
Mm.
me. I am the Sub-Zero Jessica.
Oh, very nice. And we're joined by the man where there's no snow.
Yeah, no snow whatsoever. The Adam Hart caster. I haven't said that in a while. Dylan Muss, how's it going, everyone? It's good to be back.
Mhm.
Always fun to have a nice 5-person OG Geek First cast.
Yeah.
It happens often these days somehow.
Yeah, Zoom, technology, internet. Last time we did that was Golden Geeks, which on Facebook you go vote soon. In the next few weeks, we're gonna get the winners. We'll have to send everyone their lists and start voting and everything like that. But that's coming up, so check out that. Taylor, where can they find us on the internet if Google wants to be our friend?
Oh, I hope Google wants to be our friend. It would save me a heck of a lot of grief. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast on Twitter, and then GeekVerse on Facebook. And if you go to our Facebook, you can see the Marvel Legacies community fan base poll has just finished tonight, and the lucky son of a gun champion who's just been inducted into the Hall of Fame is the 1998 Blade. And he's up there with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jason Voorhees, Heath Ledger's Joker, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It's just like, it's an awesome roster, as you said, Travis, in the chat. Like, it's except for
Whoa.
Stannis, but
No, I said it was awesome minus one character, and that was Stannis Baratheon, who's
somehow in
yeah.
there. But
I think I've found out a way though for when we do the Hall of Fame poll for us to put him out there and not to get the page hacked. I think when you spell Stannis, put a space in between S and the I, because it'll still be Stannis, but the bots won't find it. I
Well-
think that's what we should do.
well, it's tricky because again, they're not bots. But at the end of the day, like, you're talking about Stannis
They act
fans
like bots.
versus the whole army of like MCU fans, DC fans, and Star Wars fans. Like, that's a lot. To
There was a
take into
lot of
account.
Stannis fans though.
There
They're
was a lot.
fucking crazy. We had to block a lot, and they were really offensive too. We had to block a lot after the poll was over. They're like,
They're very mean to Travis. But make sure you tune back in on Monday. Monday at 7 p.m. And I'm announcing it now. Like, usually I like to do a secret, but I've already put out like a reveal for it. But we're doing our Godzilla King of the Monsters poll, and it's crazy. Jet Jaguar's in there, Dylan. So it's gonna be a
Nice.
good poll.
yeah, it's thanks Taylor. It's gonna be a great poll. Taylor's
You
been
forgot
waiting
to. No, you forgot one shout out. It's almost my birthday. Gotta plug that.
What? That's how I introduced you.
That's true.
Yeah, but you gotta put it in the plugs.
It's not enough.
Oh yeah, it's not enough.
Wow.
We're gonna have to mention it 5 times. Yeah. So like Taylor said, go check out that poll. Taylor's been waiting to do the Zillow poll for ages, so I have no idea who's gonna win that. I'm just gonna vote for. Is King Kong in the poll, Taylor?
There's 3 King Kongs and 3. I think there's. Well, when you say Godzilla, it's crazy because technically there's Godzilla 50s, Godzilla 90s, Space Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla. With King Kong, there's Kong from like the original 50s, and then there's Kong from
The Jack Black ones.
why I can't remember.
Oh,
Peter
he
Jackson.
didn't make the
Peter
cut, did he?
Jackson. No,
Peter
I got
Jackson,
his
yeah.
name. Yeah, Peter Jackson's Kong is there, and then Kong Skull Island is in there too. So there's 3 Kongs, and I spaced it out so that the Godzillas are on one side and the Kongs are on the other side. So that way, if fate decides, we get Godzilla versus Kong at the end. But we'll see.
And Kong's gonna win because Kong's the man. Kong's the monkey.
Is it possible that is it spaced out enough that in the civil round we could have 3 Kongs and 3 Godzillas?
It is.
It's,
I think it's
it
probably
is.
possible.
If someone plans it that
Nice.
way, if the fans work together, they can plan that way.
Nice.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As always, check out every week. We're reviewing WandaVision every single week. We have 3 episodes left. And if you're listening to this, that episode's probably already in the feed because we're going to be staying up late. And this one should be a juicy one with a 3 left. What else we got popping off soon? A bunch of retros will be going to stop there's a bunch of retros are going to be popping off with Man of Steel. We got the Just League commentary track, which is going to go up this weekend for Patreon. Man, what a great time that was. We got the BVS commentary track. Soon we'll be recording the Mortal Kombat one, so tons of fun stuff there. A big shout out to Aaron Braden and of course Carl Ritchie, our Patreon producers. What else has happened? After 9, the big event of the February, I guess, the trial of Taylor Field. I'm not sure if you've heard about this, Dylan Musk, but there was
I want in. This sounds good. I don't know. I don't really get it. And like, I'm not on Facebook, so I don't see these polls anymore, but I still want in. I got to be there to watch.
So February 27th, yeah, it's going to be 9 to 11 Eastern time, so 6 to 7 for us. We have some of our patrons. We have some other people from the podcast network. We have other random podcasters. I'm lining up some witnesses. I had one witness, but they potentially dropped out, which was kind of annoying. But yeah, Taylor was maybe kind of messing around the polls. That is, so before Taylor goes, that's what me and Jessica think, where Kirklin and Taylor do not feel that. So it's very down the middle. So Taylor and Kirkland are going to represent their side. Me and Jessica are going to represent our side. And then this jury of people are going to decide if Taylor Field is guilty or not.
So
and, yeah.
I just want to point out here, is it just me or is Dylan's webcam off for everybody?
Oh my God, Taylor.
What?
Fucking Christ.
He posted in the chat that he's turning it off to try and fix the
I
leg.
actually
I didn't get that in the chat.
fixed my leg, so I'm gonna keep it like this, and you can't look at me.
I
can
didn't
put a
get
picture
that.
there. if
I
you
didn't
want.
get that. In the
Yeah,
chat.
please
I
put the
didn't see
picture.
it.
Clay says hashtag stop the steal. Like, yeah, like you were Trump or something with the poll, you're trying to stop it. But yeah, no, this happened during our Mandalorian
time.
I think you might have heard it on our bloopers, Dylan, but this happened during the Mandalorian where I messaged Taylor privately to turn his gain down. He's like, "You want me to turn my gain down?"
Oh,
like,
yeah,
right in the
I
middle of
heard
the
that. It was
episode. Yeah,
hilarious.
I didn't
He
get the
just-
notification for the chat. I'm working the stream here.
Well,
Working the stream.
it happened yesterday too with our commentary track where I like messaged Kirkland. I was like, "Hey, turn your volume up. You're really quiet." And then and then you like read it out. You're like, "Is that better? What, do you not think the picture is
wasn't
better?" And
me.
it's like, okay, well,
That wasn't me. I
no,
don't
that
know.
was Travis.
Oh, okay.
To throw a little bit more shade on Taylor, I'm gonna say this. I was watching your stream the other day of the pirate game that I forget the name of, and I went in the chat and I said, "Hey, Taylor." And you just ghosted me. You never said anything. I just felt so bad.
I wasn't chimed into the chat. I'm sorry about that.
Oh my God, you and Greg
Why
from
do
the
you
podcast.
live stream if you're not gonna look at the chat?
Greg from the podcast network, host DC Alliance, he's the same thing. He never looks at the chat at all. And Travis would ask, be like, "Man, like pull it up already. Like there's people in there." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm on it." And then he scrambles to it. Like, check the chat if you're doing a podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this. This is a newscast. We're going to talk about some topics. And I think everything that we mentioned is down below. Thanks. We've gotten a nice kind of buffering of good reviews coming our way. So thank you. We're over the 200 mark. We got to get that review score up. But thank you for everybody up did that. Go subscribe, Patreon support, but everything you need to know is in the links down below. On February 27th, the trial of Taylor Field. He's going to be guilty, and it's going to be a big day for Taylor Field. I don't know what to start off with because we have the main topic, but there's something that broke an hour and a half ago that no one knows about other than Taylor. So I think I'm going to start with this, and then we're going to get in the main topic. But I'm disappointed because I can't see Dylan's face right now, but I think he's going to appreciate
I'll
this.
turn my video on momentarily.
Okay.
It'll be at the cost of some lag. I'll keep it on for a minute.
So, and then Taylor, you can start doing that cutout recording too if you want. You got that? Thank you, sir. So it was reported. So this is, I'd say it's like in the C+ tier scooper, but for Marvel, I'm not sure if you've heard this, Dylan, but there's been rumblings of course, Kirkland. There's been rumblings of Charlie Cox coming back for Spider-Man. So we got a bit more information tonight that it's just going to be him as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man. But what's going to be happening is Agent Coulson and him, Charlie Cox playing Daredevil as Daredevil, will be in the Disney Plus show Secret Invasion. I'm not sure if you've heard about the show, Dylan, but it's starring Nick Fury and Talos, and it's going to be about like dealing with Skrulls and stuff like that. So it's just a rumor right now, but the word is that he's going to be kind of a co-star in this show as well. So sounds like he's here to stay and whatnot. So how do you feel, Dylan, about like, our hours of watching Daredevil on Netflix might actually be paying off? And it sounds like he's on his way. We'll know within a year if he's in there, but it sounds like now like enough people are reporting that he's making his way to the MCU and he'd be the first of the Netflix universe to come over.
Well, yeah. So I'll say this as well. I've caught up on WandaVision.
Oh,
And I don't know what the spoilers are, but in the I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but last week's episode had someone from one of the non-Disney Marvel things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's obviously with that, Disney is down to bring in some of those properties that weren't like originally under their umbrella into their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, like if I had to pick one character to join like the MCU in some way, it would probably be that character. So, you said it's still like kind of C tier rumor.
C plus tier, yeah. But the word is that like no one got a photo of him, but multiple people report they saw it. Like he was on set for Spider-Man. Like that went around quite a bit.
Well, he's a pretty sneaky guy, so you're not gonna see him all the time. No, I think that'd be great, and I mean that would be just the doorway into eventually having him back as Daredevil, and that's that's like one of my favorite TV shows. It's a great show, so that'd be awesome. I'd love that. And I haven't heard of the Secret Invasion show, but that also sounds interesting.
Yeah, Nick Fury's finally getting his own show. It's gonna be Disney Plus, and good for him. And then they're bringing Phil Coulson back from Agents of Shield and some other Agents of Shield characters. So it sounds like they're gonna have like a mini kind of event show over there. And I have to ask because you had messaged me after you'd seen the first episode of WandaVision.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it so far? We're 6 episodes deep now.
Yeah, I've seen. I think I watched all 6. Yeah, I like it. I think the first I think it's very slow, and like the first 3 episodes are kind of boring, and like I don't think I would have been into it if it was a weekly thing, but since I could binge through them all, I enjoyed it that way. But I'm liking it enough. I don't know. I think it'll all kind of come together in the last couple episodes, but for right now, I guess I'm pretty like lukewarm on it. I think it's all right. It's a fun show to watch, but it's not blowing me away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kirklin, what do you think about this? Obviously, haven't watched Daredevil, just ashamed of us all.
That's not true.
Well,
I've seen
all 3
some of Daredevil.
You've seen some of this, but what do you think about this? So yeah, he's going to be, it sounds like, in Secret Invasion with Nick Fury and everything like that. It sounds like he is popping around in the MCU more than just Spider-Man. So
yeah, no, I'm very excited. I've always loved like the dynamic between Daredevil and Spider-Man, just in the past, whether it be the shows or the comics or even the games. I've always liked their backs and forwards and stuff, and I really like Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I thought he did really well with the character from what I saw so far. I don't even think I finished season 1 actually. How many seasons were there? 3?
3.
Yeah, okay. But, well, there you go. I guess I'll have to revisit it. But I'm curious as to what type of role he'll be, whether he is just like a Skrull the whole time, and then maybe there'll be like a big reveal. I hope that's not the case, but I could very well see that happening. But yeah, no, that's really awesome. I feel like if this is successful, it'll open the possibilities of bringing some other non-MCU characters that we've seen, whoever it might be. So overall, positive news.
You got any excitement for Coulson? He's coming back too, apparently, and it's like the multiple characters coming into this show.
I mean, like I've never like loved or hated that character, but I've always liked seeing him on screen. So yeah, he's good enough for me.
It's like how WandaVision brings in like some generic cop from like an Ant-Man movie.
Yeah,
and it's like it's just more fun than having some other random generic cop, I guess. But Coulson's like more than that. Not to throw him in that pool, but it's cool.
Yeah. I guess he's got a special place in my heart because of the Iron Man movies and his appearance there, and how it kind of like started the whole MCU, just continuation of the through the different phases.
Plus, it'll be a switch up because the Avengers, most of them still don't know he's alive and stuff like that. Even though there's some like trickery where he's actually like a robot now. Don't ask me. Like that's what happened to Agents of Shield. That was one of the big reveals, that he's what they call Marvel Universe a life model decoy, and they just make multiple copies, and that's how Coulson came back for the Agents of Shield show, was that he was just a copy of the Coulson we knew. So he's kind of like an android now. So that's what's been happening with Coulson.
Terminator.
So. Pretty much, like literally, but it's Coulson. Taylor, the biggest fan of Iron Fist here, I guess. What do you think about? We talked about this before, Daredevil coming back, but now it sounds like I said, he's back in multiple projects. What do you think about him? And especially in Secret. I'm actually surprised about Secret Invasion, because with it being like an alien-based type of show, that's not where I thought we were going to get Daredevil. Spider-Man to me makes sense. It's New York. It's crime-based. I thought the next time we would see him is like in Moon Knight or maybe Blade or another spinoff. But the fact that he's going to be mixing up with aliens is kind of strange. But maybe it kind of sounds like, I don't know, maybe he's like a sword recruit. Like maybe Nick Fury has taken him in as like, hey, I need like a good like number 2 or bodyguard. Maybe that's why he's there. He's not so much like, oh, I need to go to space. But to me, it is like still like a weird like pairing. But what do you think about the pairing as far as the show and Daredevil?
I think, the best kind of debut you could have is to mingle it with aliens, to be honest. So I'm totally okay with that. I think it's definitely an unusual pairing. I would not have thought of something like that. But again, uh, I've lately dabbled in comics and I've seen some interesting pairings. So, MCU's getting a little jiggy with it. So why not get jiggy with it?
Yeah, we'll announce something further, but we got a nice little spin-off show coming off. Taylor and Kirklin read some comic books, so I'm pretty excited to talk to them about that. So, Jessica, Daredevil, I know you haven't seen it either. Does this interest you at all as far as Charlie Cox coming back into some of these shows in the potential future? Obviously, we got Spider-Man and then this one.
I think I've actually seen 2.5 seasons.
Two and a half.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
much more than Kirkland.
Yeah. I know for sure I finished season 2. I don't know if I finished season 3 or not. But I actually did really enjoy him as a character. That being said, because obviously talking about the discussion that yes, this could lead to the actress that they had for Jessica Jones and is it Luke Cage?
Luke Cage, yeah, Mike Coulter, yeah.
Yeah. So funny thing is though, I completely forgot about Iron Fist. So when you said to Taylor, biggest fan, I was like, ooh, didn't even remember that was a thing.
He doesn't need to come along. He can stay.
No, yeah, and there is rumors that what is her name? Kristen Ritter. She's going to be in She-Hulk. So there's been multiple rumors of other Netflix characters, and there hasn't been rumors yet. But I guarantee you'll also see Punisher because John Bernthal is like kind of the biggest star out of them all. So I feel like they'll slap a contract his way. People really like him. So it sounds like they are dipping their toes in that universe, or at least cherry picking things they want.
So I'm excited for it. I don't, which is kind of hard to say because I don't necessarily care about this invasion show so much. But I am excited to see him brought back. And what I was reading online after you mentioned it, I went and took a browse, is that in Spider-Man 3, he's Peter Parker's lawyer.
Yeah.
Is this a comic book thing or is this just a new?
It's happened before. Yeah, it's happened in animated series, having comics. And I think I wonder what they're gonna do, if there's gonna be like a tip of the hat to him being Daredevil, or even if that's like an end credit scene. But I think he will, just because for spoilers for Spider-Man, it ended with them saying he killed Mysterio and then he killed a bunch of people, so he's on trial. So yeah, I guess he's going to be. Yeah, pretty much. He wishes he had a Matt Murdock though. But yeah, so he's gonna be Peter Parker's lawyer, and I think in the Spider-Man movie he will be there just so like the same way Nick Fury was in like an Iron Man. Like he'll have very minimal screen time. I think it'll just be to set up like I think it's unfortunate for them that these things have leaked, because I think that would have been a big like. I don't think you'll see him in the posters. I think you'll see Toby and Andrew in posters because that sells a lot of tickets and stuff. But I think with Matt, they would have kept secret, but now it's kind of got out. It's like one of the secrets for WandaVision as far as a couple weeks ago of like who a character might be. And then that character may or may not be in the show right now. So that's the thing with scoopers and whatnot. They're putting it out there, but.
See, but I do think too that this is one of those things that, we always go back to. If your mom was to go and watch this, I mean, to her, this doesn't mean anything, and it wouldn't have made a difference to her if he popped up in it or not.
100%. She's just gonna. I don't think she's even see the show. Mainstream would just be like, "Oh, that's the new Daredevil, cool." And then they'd be like, "Well, there's a whole show. You can go watch that if you're interested." But I do think, like when you're saying about the Invasion show, you're not that interested. I think that will be the case for a lot of people, because I think people like Nick Fury, but I don't think he's like the all-time favorite. But I think if you add Daredevil in that, it gives it a little oomph of like, okay, I'm a little more interested now that this character and this actor's in there. So I think that's kind of on purpose. If he doesn't exactly fit, it's just like, well, how can we make this show a little sexier? Well, get the devil in there,
I mean, yeah, I could see the Invasion being like each episode has some kind of different Easter egg character or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you pop in to see if you see, Mad Murdock or whoever it is. But yeah, I'm excited for him to reprise his role. I did enjoy him in his role. I thought he did a great job. He was the one that I watched the most of out of those Netflix series.
Yeah.
So, Jessica Jones, I watched the first season. Luke Cage, I watched half a season. And Iron Fist, I watched 2 episodes. So,
Luke Cage, I remember because you lost power or something like that, or internet for while you're watching that.
Yeah, I was trying to power through it to do the review cast with you guys, and then I lost the Netflix shut down because it was overwhelmed with people streaming it, and I was like, well, I'm not going back. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
I can't finish it in time for the cast. I'm not finishing it at all.
yeah. Well, there we go. I just wanted to start with that because that just broke like an hour ago, so that could be kind of fun. So there you go, Daredevil come to MCU. That's happening. Let's get into these trailers. So we got 3 big trailers this week. I'm gonna start with the one that is just, I don't know, it's the one that I guess has made the internet the most buzzy, and that's Cruella. So we have a movie. It's coming out in May. Supposedly might be doing Disney Plus. We don't know for sure. But it's starring Emma Stone, and it's about the origins of Cruella de Vil, the villain from 101 Dalmatians. When Dylan's camera came out, it looked like Host for a second. Like it was just
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying to get it to work. I don't know.
Jessica, what do you think about this? So we have a prequel for. Did you ever see Maleficent?
Yep.
Did you like that movie?
Not enough to watch the second one.
Okay, so how do you feel about them taking another crack at like a Disney classic villain here, as far as, oh, this is their origin story, and here we go. And what did you think of the trailer?
I mean, to me, it wasn't anything amazing. I watched it all of half an hour ago, and there's not a whole lot I remember from it. I remember the terrible, like, dog awkward growling scene, and her crying with her hair a mess, and then it just, to me, there was nothing standoutish about it. I watched 3 trailers a minute ago, and one of them was obviously more exciting than that.
Mm-hmm.
Will I watch it if it comes to Disney Plus? If it's free and included with a membership, yes. If it's Mulan and I have to spend $20 on it, I'm sorry, I will not be reviewing that with you guys.
Taylor, are you gonna spend another 20 or 40? Like you paid for Mulan, and then you said never again. But you've kind of said like, oh, there's a few ones you'd make an exception for. Like, is this one you make an exception for? And also, I just want to hear your justification, because I feel like you're gonna like this trailer or something. I just feel like there's something about Taylor, like, oh, there's a way you could defend this. So what do you think about this? And are you like, we don't know if it would be Premier Access, but if it would you be buying it?
I am definitely, I would say, interested. Like, again, like I said, like watching the trailer, I was getting Michelle Pfeiffer vibes from Batman. I was getting like Birds of Prey vibes, and
Definitely Birds of Prey.
I wasn't
trailer.
getting like Joker vibes, but I mean, in retrospect now,
Really?
I could definitely feel it. Like it was just, and it was all, to me, I felt like it wasn't like a just complete knockoff. It just felt like, okay, this feels like it's got these certain aesthetics are all contributing to this own original kind of atmosphere to this film, and I like that. So again, Emma Stone is a great actress, and I wasn't sure initially how I was going to feel about her as Cruella de Vil, but then seeing her in this role and just what she was doing, I feel like I can get behind it. And again, it's obviously a prequel origin story. I know how you feel about those, Travis, but it just seems kind of cool how she's going from what looked like not like a janitor. We all love janitors these days, but
wait, what part in the trailer did she look like a janitor?
well, she looked like when she was going through like the elevator to like the main office, I thought like she just looked like she was like cleanup crew or something like that, but I don't know for sure. So yeah, I'm inclined to possibly rent it or pay to watch this movie because it definitely looks kind of enticing and
He
interesting.
said never again. And here
in what context did I say never again? Because I'm kind of curious.
I think when we were talking about Raya the Last Dragon being Premier Access, and you're like, oh, it looks great and everything like that, but I'm never like doing the Premier Access ever again unless it was one of those bigger ones.
No, with Raya, no, I think I said something like, everyone, there's something for everyone or something like that. Because I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, yeah, there's something for, and then you sent a GIF like, yeah, I thought so or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird trailer. I guess it's because people are making the Joker comparison, and I kind of get it, but it's just like I guess with me it's tough because I love Joker, but I just feel like there's an intrigue there. It's like he has this relationship with Batman and Gotham and the police, and he has this like mysterious origin story. I just have always wondered when they announced this, like, how are they gonna sell like, hey, this woman ends up like skinning and killing dogs to make coats? Like, why do I want to watch a movie about her? And I think Emma Stone, I was not like you, Terry. When I heard that, I thought that was perfect casting. I just wish they rebooted 101 Dalmatians and just used her as Cruella instead, because I just don't know. I was waiting for, okay, let me see this trailer. How, like, is this gonna sell me? I think she looks great in it. It's very Birds of Prey, like the music, the cuts and stuff like that. Like the vibe is like Joker as far as like the villain story, but the trailer is very Birds of Prey. People have you made those like memes as far as like Emma Stone playing the next Harley Quinn and stuff. Like, yeah, she looks like it, and I think she'll do great, but I just don't know what the point of this story is gonna be. And I guess it starts off she wants to rise in the world of fashion. I guess, sure. Like, I'm definitely gonna check it out because I like Emma Stone, but if it wasn't Emma Stone, I'd have no interest. I don't think I would do the premiere access one for this one, but if it is like Soul where it's just on there, I will check it out. But yeah, I don't know. Kirk, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it's interesting. I agree with you, Travis. I felt like this probably should have been a 101 Dalmatian reboot as opposed to just a Cruella like story, kind of like what Maleficent was, because this unfortunately falls in that same category for me, where it's telling a story of a character that I just don't care about whatsoever. And yeah, it's like Emma Stone looks really good as her, but that's just not enough to suck me into this film. I loved 101 Dalmatians. If that was the only instance that I saw the character Cruella de Vil, I would have been completely fine with that. But here we are. I don't know. I felt like something like this, like telling a story from like the villain side of a villain that's not even like likable or stuff like that. Like I just felt like maybe that could have been on like a smaller scale. Maybe they released that on like Disney Plus or something. But then I don't know. Would you still have Emma Stone? I don't know.
Probably. Well, if they showed the money, yeah, like I
Yeah.
think they would have. But like obviously, it might go to Disney Plus regardless now, right? Because of COVID
Yeah.
and everything. But no, I think they did want to give. I think it would have been successful. Don't get me wrong. But Maleficent was also super successful. But then they do this
Yeah.
thing where they like make a whole, oh, she's not actually a villain. She's just misunderstood, and you didn't understand why she was a villain, and she's like adopting Sleeping Beauty. And that's what I wonder if this movie, if they'll do like the whole like, oh well, she's not really gonna kill dogs. It's just like
Yeah.
you know. But the Dalmatians are all over this trailer. They're like barking at her and running after her. So like, I don't know. Are they trying to set up like the dogs like hurt her first and stuff? Like, Clay from Ranger Alliance did bring up to me like, well, that's part of the reason why she skins the dogs because she had a traumatic experience with Dalmatians specifically. So I forgot that. So like, okay, I guess, but like, is that movie worth? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That it's kind of a stretch for me.
I also never saw Maleficent, and like I think maybe I started it once, but I like fell asleep in it, and like I'm just not interested in looking back on it. So I'll probably skip this one. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Did Dave say what the rating was in the trailer? Like, is
No,
this
but it has to be PG-13. Like it can't
Rated
be
R.
Yeah,
Rated R.
it's not even rated
They're
R
skinning
at
the
least.
dogs.
It's like the Joker.
I mean, yeah, it might be interesting if this is actually, maybe not rated R, but like a actual, somewhat more adult aimed origin story.
I was gonna see what Maleficent was because that was like had some like type of moments in there. But I can guarantee you, if the world's back to normal for Halloween, you'll see this costume a lot. I bet you're gonna see this look if it's popular enough. But Dylan, I know you're an Emma Stone fan, so did you watch this trailer and does this
Yeah.
excite you at all?
Yeah, I definitely am an Emma Stone fan. And it sounds like I'm the only one who has this vibe here, but to me, her accent was just horrible in this. It sounded really, really cheap. It sounded like one of her old school like comedic characters, like Superbad or whatever, where she's like doing like like mocking someone, like doing like a funny accent for a moment or something. It sounded really off to me, and I don't know. I couldn't like get it out of my head as I was watching the trailer. It just sounded too weird.
So I don't agree with you, but Emily said the exact same thing right when we finished the trailer. Like,
okay,
she's
cool.
like,
So
yeah,
I'm
she
not
was like,
the
oh,
only
her
one.
voice is awful. Like, she's like, I just don't know if she's right.
Like
for the,
when she says Cruella, it's like, no, this is way too cheesy. But like the movie's so serious, so I don't think that would bode well for like the atmosphere it's trying to establish. But yeah, I don't think I have many thoughts on this. Like I watched 101 Dalmatians like as a kid, but it's another one of those Disney ones I haven't watched in forever. It seems like just why are you doing this one? Like Disney has such a long history of IP or like so many creative minds to make new stuff. I don't know why they're going back to this well. And like as you mentioned, like there's some weird subject matter there, and like a lot of old Disney stuff is like really not aged well at all. This seems like probably one of them, and then they're just gonna change it to make it work. So maybe that is the case, and they have a good way to adapt it and make it something that's a bit more, I don't know, not disgusting and weird. But I don't know. I don't really have any interest in watching this one myself, unless it like is so bad that it's good, and like the accent is so weird that it could be just funny to watch the movie for like the comedic factor of it, even if that's not what it's intended for.
Well, I do wonder how this movie like, and I looked up Maleficent was only PG, so I think they'll try and find a way to get this to PG. I do wonder like what came first. Was it the movie and then they got Emma Stone? Was it a hey, we want to work with Emma Stone, what could we pair her with? Or was this like an Emma Stone idea? Like the same way Mahershala went to Kevin Feige, was like, oh, I want to be Blade. Did Emma Stone go to Disney and be like, hey, I really want to be Cruella? Like that's what it feels like to me, because I just don't like, I actually think, like I said, I didn't have a problem with voice. I think she's perfect casting for it, but I just don't. But again, like when I look at it, like Maleficent, that movie made almost $800 million. It was a massive hit. So it's like, okay, well, I guess it like the villains are, hot or risque. So I guess make it. But yeah,
I'm just
that makes sense.
wondering too, like, are they trying to incorporate like, I don't know, is it like a magic into it or what? Like with the whole dress burning, and then there's the scene with, I don't know if it's bats or something flying everywhere.
I think that'll be like Hunger Games, where it's like, oh, we found a way to design the dress to like be on fire.
She's
and that's
secretly
what that
Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Yeah, that's why she's got the bats in her closet.
Okay, I didn't even remember that in the trailer. So good shout out. I've already forgotten that there was bats in this trailer. So there you go. Taylor's really excited for this. So that's good. You can review it for us if it's Premiere Access. Any other thoughts on Cruella? As of right now, it's May, rumored to be Disney Plus, but might go to theaters. We'll see. But I think it'll either go Disney Plus or get delayed. I don't think theaters are going to be open everywhere in time for this. So no, nothing. Cruella.
May of this year, like coming up in May 28th.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like quick. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we'll. I
would have thought it would be rated by now, but yeah, I did see at the end of the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we'll see. Well, here's another one. We got a trailer for the much anticipated. This one's coming out April 16th on HBO Max and theaters. Mortal Kombat, the reboot, the reimagining, the adaptation, the new adaptation. Today we got a nice Red Band trailer. That was nice. So I guess, I'll start because I think that was a good like kick down the door to say like, hey, we're going to be as gory and as violent as possible. And that's kind of what you want from Mortal Kombat movie. We had seen the posters the few days before, and I got like a very 50-50 vibe, because some posters I was like, this looks great, and then other times it looked like a fan film, and I was really worried. And I don't think they still have the biggest budget, but I think this trailer, I liked it, and that's all I could ask for. I think this is going to be a really fun watch. I think we're going to have a fun time reviewing this one. I think there's going to be some outlandish kills and everything like that. There's some cool moments, like when that guy shoots the gun at Sub-Zero and he like freezes the bullet and you see it come out of the gun barrel. Like, that's cool. We got our first look at Goro. Taylor put him in the thumbnail, but like, I don't think that was announced. So that was really cool to see him. I think they were smart as far as they showed lots of fighting, they showed lots of violence, they showed lots of the characters we love, and they showed fatalities, which is like, that's what you want. Mortal Kombat, it's all about fatalities, right? So I think they did their job. I think the story does not have to be amazing. It just has to be so basically good. As long as the fights are good and the story's passable, I think it'll be enjoyable. I think the main character is someone they've made up for this movie, but then the main gang was like Kano, Sonya Blade, and like Liu Kang. That's awesome. So I'm digging it. We got a nice little cool fight with Scorpion and Sub-Zero at the end. So this is the movie that like, I won't say I'm the most excited for, but I'm the most hopeful for this year. I just want to watch it and love it. I'm not expecting to be a 10 out of 10, like one of my all-time favorite movies, but I just want to have like a really good time with it. And I think the trailer did that for me mostly. So what about you, Kirklin?
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect, considering like the last Mortal Kombat movie that I watched. So going into this, I love Mortal Kombat. I've always loved Mortal Kombat. I've loved it since like Sega Genesis, and even the new adaptations. I think they're doing really good stuff with it. And I feel like the thing I've always loved about Mortal Kombat is just the over-the-top gore and like just ridiculous moves that they do, whether like ripping someone's like entire spinal cord out like a predator, or whatever it might be. Oh yeah, I got Taylor's attention with that word.
Oh yeah.
But in this one, I felt like I honestly wanted more, like over the top. Like I wanted like brighter outfits, and I don't know. I might just be nitpicking here, but I felt like I just wanted something like way more over the top and like
Oh, okay.
almost more wild. Whereas I felt like they're trying to make it like at least a little bit serious in this. I overall though, like I'm still positive on it. I think it looks really good. Yeah, like Travis mentioned, like the few fight scenes we saw, whether it was Sub-Zero and Scorpion, they got the classic quotes in there, you know, get over here, and like that stuff just gets me excited. But I felt like I wanted it to be a little bit more wild and like just more like colorful and like a freaking shonen anime or something. So, anyways, but I liked it. I'm excited to watch it.
That's
And they
that's a
use the
good
theme.
point. To me, it felt like just kind of like a generic action movie, but
Yeah.
but maybe that is all they're looking for. You know, like as Travis said earlier, like just trying to make something passable, and maybe that's all they need. You know, it's just a fun action movie. I wonder though, because I didn't recognize any actors in the trailer, so I wonder if something like that is tricky to do without like Dwayne the Rock Johnson at the forefront of your movie.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, obviously as we did our Mortal Kombat watch along a few months ago, I wasn't terribly into that movie. So I don't know. This trailer didn't really do it for me, but I hope it ends up being really kick ass and people enjoy it for the video game movie sphere of things.
Yeah, we need a good one because last
Just like
year we got
Sonic.
Sonic and that was awful. So
It was awesome.
fuck Sonic.
Getting a
Just
sequel.
yeah, you're getting a sequel. What is it called again, Taylor?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, you.
Title drop.
Yeah, it was so
Last
funny. And
news.
we were last week when we were going over news, Dylan Taylor was like, "Oh, we got to talk about Sonic." I'm like, "What do you mean about Sonic?" He's like, "Well, they announced the title." I'm like, "Yeah, and it's called Sonic 2." And he's like, "Well, no, it's called Sonic the Hedgehog 2." And it didn't make it to the newscast. Let's just say
Wait,
that.
was it
but-
was the first one not called Sonic the Hedgehog?
It was.
Oh, okay.
No, he just had to correct me when I said, "Oh, they titled it Sonic 2." And he said, "No, it's
Right.
titled
But we had to
Sonic
talk about the
Hedgehog."
logo too, because it had the Tails nod and everything, and the release date unveiled too. So.
But,
Was Tails in the one that came out whenever that
Yeah.
came out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so we knew that, Taylor.
Well, he was in an end credit scene, so not everyone would have known that.
But the people that cared, like if they left before the credits, they didn't care about Tails. Just give me Knuckles. Fuck Tails. Jessica, you have any interest in this?
Yeah, this one, in our three-way, like new trailer release of the week, this
Mhm.
one is by far my favorite. So I super excited for it. Like, you know, right out of the gate, you get the guy having his like arms frozen and just ripped
Oh,
off his
yeah.
body. Like
His name's
oh.
Jax, by the way, just so you know.
Well, you know what? I don't want to be spoiled.
Oh, okay, good.
Just
okay.
I'm waiting.
He was the guy later on in the trailer that had the metal arms. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I watched the
Jax.
trailer.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure you knew those were the same guys. You know, even though I feel like that would kill you. Not gonna lie.
And then I also want to shout out the blood blade kill where he like
Mhm,
rips his body out and then freezes his blood and stabs him in the back with it. Solid
very
solid
cool.
kill. Yeah, I think that I think it'll be really fun to watch. Like you said, I don't know that it'll be 10 out of 10 or necessarily like best film of the year, but I think it's gonna be fun to watch, if nothing else, just for kind of the fatalities and the kind of the kills of everything. I do worry, based on how many kind of people we saw in the trailer, though, that they may try and do like too much kind of storyline or too many backstories, and it might just kind of get muddled and lost, as opposed to just, you know, like you said, having one main character and then these are kind of the other characters that exist, which kind of worries me. You know, it might be one of those things where everyone gets their 10 minutes of backstory and then all of a sudden we're an hour and a half into the movie and nothing's happened yet.
What are we, some type of Mortal Kombat? But like, I think that's always the problem with like Mortal Kombat is like, it's a fighting game, and like that's the main objective. And there's like some story around it. They definitely have lore and story. I haven't played these newest ones, so I'm sure there's definitely a lot more nowadays. But I just saw it like, especially too, it's just like the plot of the game is there's a tournament and you go there to fight, and it's just like, okay, well, how do we make this into a movie? And like, what's the plot of this movie? Other than if like, to me, I always thought like the way to do this is maybe just actually make it that, just make a guy who shows up there and he's gonna join this tournament and he works his way up. But it's never that. It's always they're after the world or something's gonna happen in the world. So it's just like, so okay, there's a big mission they're on, but then there's also a tournament in the middle of it. I guess they'll make sense of it. That's why I hope it's just like the plot's fine and the action's good.
Yeah, it's exactly it. I think that'll be kind of the reason that people tune in, is not for some big incredible plot that, needs a sequel or anything like that. I think people are going to tune in for the Bloodblade kill and the ripping someone's arms off and freezing a bullet as it's coming towards your face. And
so I was talking about this with the podcast network, and I guess I'll throw to Kirklin because his mouth was half open, and then Taylor, I'll get your thoughts, but you can chime in here, and I want to ask everybody: is this so? In December we had Wonder Woman for HBO Max, and then January we had The Little Things, so nothing really that big. February, same thing. We have Judas the Black Messiah, so it's more like Oscar independent movies. But then in March we have the Snyder Cut, and we have King Kong vs. Godzilla. I think both those have audiences where you can say, okay, I can see why people might subscribe for those two. Do you think this, like Mortal Kombat, obviously theaters open, so you can go see in theaters, but HBO is trying to get subscriptions. Is this like does this sell a subscription? Like, will people subscribe for Mortal Kombat? Like a lot of people. That's what I wonder,
I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know like how big like the video game following for that game is. Like, I don't know if there's like an esport for it or anything like that. I know arcade fighters sometimes do, so there probably is. But I feel like those guys are like the day oneers. Like, it doesn't matter if they're dropping $40, like they're getting that because they're just so hyped on the game. But I don't know how big that like population is, so I am curious to see just how well it does.
Yeah, Dylan, do you think this is like would people subscribe to this the same way like they would for a Wonder Woman or something like that?
No, I don't think the fighting game community are people that are hyped about like their game getting a movie and like hopping over to this streaming service that they're not interested in already. So I don't think that's the selling point. I think the selling point is more to like general audiences and people who might not even know what the property is, but just think it seems like a fun action movie.
Yeah. Clay, one point, because we're not in America, so we don't know. He's in the chat. Fanboy Clay. He said that if you're a AT&T subscriber, you can get. I'm not sure if it's for a year or at least like a month or something. Maybe it's just all the time. Maybe Clay let me know in the chat that you can get HBO Max for free. So he said he could see a lot of people using their like free subscription and getting it that way, but like actually paying for it. I'm definitely on Dylan's bandwagon of I think the people for this movie that are real big fans of the game, there's definitely some that would check out, but I think most of them are like, fuck the movie, like I got my video game. Like I think there's definitely some. But Taylor, what do you feel about as far as this trailer? Because you haven't talked about this, and then what do you feel about, like, do you think this sells? Is Mrs. Field signing up for Crave to watch Mortal Kombat?
Did you say Mrs. Field?
Well, I miss Field. I don't know what your mom's acronyms are right now. I took a shot in the dark. Okay.
Oh.
So Clay says that's a great deal. If you are on A&T, HBO Max is just free. It's very nice.
It's a nice deal.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, watching the trailer, like I'm excited for this movie. I mean, again, I was really enjoying our goofing off when we did our commentary track for the last one, but
Number 2 is coming up.
Yeah, this trailer, it was cool because like I don't know really anything about Mortal Kombat, the lore, the video game stuff. Like I never got into it. That being said, interacting with you guys when we did our last comm track, I kind of got to understand and be familiar with certain things and the characters and everything like that. So
you say that, but I feel like we just had to search on our phone to try and find stuff out. We didn't know anything. I'm like, I know there's Reptile, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. I think there's a pink one. They're like the Mario Brothers.
And with that knowledge, I feel like I can feel comfortable going into this movie with kind of what to expect. But again, that first scene where the guy shoots the gun, like you were talking about, and it freezes, Sub-Zero freezes it, and then his arms just get like imploded off in ice. That's just a
His name's Jax.
Jax, he had a very shitty, like, it just, I
thought
they killed him off in the trailer. I was gonna say that's really unfortunate.
I was worried at some point too in the final fight they were showing with Scorpion Sub-Zero. when he was being the shit as Scorpion and he was building that ice wall, I was like, are they actually gonna kill fucking Scorpion in this trailer? I was getting really concerned for them. Like, he is the second, if not the most popular character in Mortal Kombat. And they're gonna kill him, but no, then he flipped out, and like Kirklin said, you got the get over here line, which is like that's the one thing. It's funny that like it was so realistic, but then when that line happened, it was like it almost didn't fit for me because it was like I like it that because it's from the video game, but because it's like a grounded world, him being like doing the get over here is like okay, like I guess, you know.
Yeah, that's why I feel like they're trying too much to balance the realism with like the over the top arcade fighter type feel. And I just feel like they should have went all arcade fighter. Like especially when they're like trying to explain like the plot, like, oh yeah, you know, to save the world we have to have this like Mortal Kombat, like just the fact that they throw in the world Mortal Kombat, it's like I'm not taking it serious anymore. Like this
with
is...
a K.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So like I just want the movie to start and it's just like we're at the tournament and it's just like this crazy fights going on. But then again, I'm not the showrunner for this. So
well, and to be honest, like you talked about Coulson earlier, like that was Iron Man in the MCU though, right? It was like very comic booky stuff, but like grounded in the real world, right? It was like, how could he try to realistically make a suit out of iron? So what if they're trying to be like, how do we realistically do a save the world type tournament? Now that might be a little. That's the thing. Like if you look at the MCU, it eventually built up to the point where Iron Man was just a kind of suit to, oh, he's on a planet getting murked by a Titan. Where this is balls to walls. Like Liu Kang literally punches the ground and there's fire coming from it. So you're like jumping in both feet right away in this movie. I think like it's gonna like same thing with Jax. Like he gets his arms frozen off and he's gonna be like a guy. Like why does he have these robot arms? Like why in the real world? Like why does he get these? It's fine. I'm gonna write it off. I just want moments like. I definitely like with the gun barrel. This movie just has to be full of cool moments where he's like, that was cool and that was cool.
yeah.
Taylor, I feel like you're a huge Goro fan because you put him in the thumbnail. So
Well, that was just one of the few properly angled shots I could find in the trailer of just like going against the Justice League.
I like that the thumbnail is the entire Justice League and then one Goro.
Goro
Just
does have 4 arms, so it is a fair fight.
Does this sell subscriptions, Taylor?
No, it doesn't. The things that are selling subscriptions at the end of the day, it's gonna be
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen's
Ayo.
definitely selling subscriptions.
Oh yeah,
Not just to Disney Plus, but yeah. No, I think that at the end of the day, this is gonna probably sell copies of the video game more than it would subscriptions to HBO Max. So.
Especially, I wonder what the game is right now, like price-wise, even the newest one, because I feel like people will play this, and like, because even me, if I watch this movie, and I'm even a little bit hyped, and I see that game is like $20-$30,
Oh, it's gonna go on sale.
what's gonna
Like,
stop
bet your
me from?
bottom dollar.
Yeah, what's gonna stop me from making that impulse buy and be like, I want to be fucking Liu Kang, like messing around. I want to do, yeah, I want to do the drop kicks and everything like that. Like, I guess you're right there, Taylor. The only way I think this has a version to be like a breakout hit is kind of like John Wick, where the way John Wick came out and it was on no one's radar. It was Keanu in just another action movie, right? And then all of a sudden it was like hailed by everybody, really liked it. It was successful, and now we have 4 movies. That's the only thing where I think it could be, if anything, it could be a sleeper hit of the year where it's like, oh, that was because people have low expectations. That was so enjoyable. Or was, and maybe like we're talking about the world, maybe when we actually watch the movie, they do embrace just like the weird video game-ness of it, but the trailers are a bit more like grounded and down to earth. So I could see it like John, and we talk about no big stars. I think because they just used all the budget for action and stuff. Plus, I don't think Warner Brothers did give them a big budget to begin with because it's Mortal Kombat, and I don't think the last ones did amazingly. I want to see actually if they have a budget here. Oh, let's see here.
I'll tell you this: Mortal Kombat 11 on the PlayStation Store is 35% off right now.
Okay.
Until March 3rd. So there you go. It's $45.
Is that the
still.
newest one?
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Okay.
Until March 3rd. That's strange because the movie comes out the 16th. I think you're right, Kirkland. They have to drop it that week at least, right? Like they got to capitalize on. Let's see, 2021 movie. But yeah, any other thoughts on Mortal Kombat?
I'm excited.
Yep, April 16th. I just want to find out if there's a budget. They might not release it yet because it might be, it's too close. So we'll find out when it's closer. But I am very interested, and it's being produced. Taylor, do you know who's producing it?
Ooh. I don't know. Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg is producing the Mortal Kombat movie.
Don't quote me on that.
Well,
James
remember,
Gunn is my guess.
remember when we did watch The first one, they were trying to get him to be like the director, like have a cameo in the first one. I don't know if you remember that. And another thing people point out, a lot of people are mad that there's no Johnny Cage. He's like a big Mortal Kombat
Well,
character.
I heard that, like, because I had read something that it wasn't like there was no Johnny Cage. People were just asking where was he because he was in the trailer. Is he
Gonna be a
confirmed not to be
corpse.
in the movie?
Well, I think it's just like Goro. I don't think Goro was known to be in the movie till we got this trailer. So he could
You
be
gotta
the
hold some
same.
characters back, right?
Yeah, that's true because you want to hope for a sequel. But Cage is like one of those OG ones. Clay said the budget is said to be about 20 million, so that's pretty cheap. So that's why there's no big star in there because 20 million, that is not a lot to work with. So you just got to hope that they made some really kick-ass action. So yeah, well, there we go. So we'll talk about our third and final trailer. Dilmas, big favorite of yours. I know you didn't watch it.
No,
so...
I actually did watch the trailer.
Wow.
I told you I wasn't, but then I was like, you know what? I don't know anything about this movie at this point, and there's a lot of fans out there. I try to be prepared for these things, so I felt like it was the least I could do. Although it was with a grain of salt because I know going into YouTube, typing in Snyder Cut, clicking on a video means that my search engine is just going to be like throwing Snyder Cut shit at me every time. Every website I go on, every ad's going to be for Snyder Cut. So I took that sacrifice for the greater GeekVerse community.
So before I get your thoughts, just in case you don't know all the info, it's officially coming out March 18th. It's going to be at one point it was going to be a series. It's not anymore. It's going to be a full movie. It's 4 hours and it's coming out all in one shot, March 18th, HBO Max. So yeah, what did you think? Because I imagine you don't remember anything about Justice League other than probably some of the terribleness of it. But what do you think about this trailer as far as seeing some footage? And also, I'm very curious because I have not talked to you at all about this. What do you think about Jared Leto's new look as he's gotten a whole makeover and everything like that now?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. So this is how much I am in on what the Snyder Cut is. Earlier, you sent me that text yesterday or the day before, like, here's what we're talking about on the podcast. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch that trailer. And then I was like, okay, earlier today, I'm like, I should watch it. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I can't even remember what the Snyder Cut is for. Was it for BVS or Suicide Squad? That was literally my train of thought. And then I was a minute into the trailer, and then I was like, what the hell? I do not remember any of this. Who are these creatures? And then Flash showed up. I was like, oh yeah, Justice League was a thing. That is how out of it I am on this particular topic. I just totally forgot that like what movie this was actually for. So I don't know what to say about the trailer itself. Yeah, I mean, Jared Leto, I guess he looks slightly better or something, but he doesn't really look any better. Was that his voice at the beginning of the trailer too? I could not tell.
No, his only line
like
is
him
at
doing his weird little voice.
No, at the end, the only line was him at the end when he's like, "We
Okay.
live in a society," and he's like, "Batman." That's it.
Yeah. I don't think I really have much to say. It was very confusing. There was a lot going on in this trailer, and I am so foggy. Clearly, I forgot Justice League existed. I'm so foggy on what actually happened in the regular movie that pretty much none of this looked familiar to me. Like, it seemed like 100% new shots, completely new movie, which is, I don't know what the percentage is of how much is new, how much is old, but yeah, I guess I mean, I'm happy for the DC fans. This is a pretty awesome opportunity to get a second shot at a movie like this. But I mean, I was absolutely certain I wasn't going to watch it, and this trailer didn't sway me anymore. So that's where I am on this one.
Well, there you go, fans. He watched for you. There you go. Look at that. He watched some Snyder cuts. So the rest of us still for Patreon, we did last night watch Justice League. I watched it for the second or the third time. These guys all watched for the second time. So Jessica, now that we had just watched the masterpiece of 2007, as people call it, the Justice League,
2007?
how do you feel? Teen, you cut me. You cut me off. No, I'm joking. How do you feel about? So we watched, because I remember when you guys first watched the trailer, you're like, I don't really like. It doesn't matter to me, because you were in the similar boat as Dylan as far as like, okay, like some stuff looks bad, looks good, but like I don't remember the movie. But now we just watched the movie last night, and then we have this trailer. How do you feel about it?
So I will not lie, I did not go back and rewatch this trailer after we watched Justice League, because I didn't care enough to do it. But when I did watch it, yeah, kind of as you mentioned, I had no idea what was old and new footage. And I'll be honest, after watching Justice League last night, I definitely was mixing up some like Batman versus Superman footage in my mind thinking that was part of Justice League when it obviously wasn't. So, I mean, there are some things, I guess, that kind of came up that do make it a little more interesting. You know, Steppenwolf does
Step in.
Stefan.
Fun.
Stephen
I
Wolf.
like that better.
Yeah, so good old Steve.
Yeah.
Definitely got an upgrade on his CGI, which definitely looks cooler. It is kind of interesting, like you said, some of the things we talked about, you know, footage that has already been shot, some of the things that, you know, this isn't kind of veering away from the talk of the trailer, but things that won't be included that were, and things that, you know, was obviously the new director versus what was Snyder. The trailer obviously wasn't all that memorable though, because I'm trying to think of what happened in it, and I can't say. That could just be because, like you said, we watched it last night, and it's all kind of getting jumbled at this point. But after having just watched the trailer, it didn't make an impression on me. The only thing that stood out was that we got to see the new Joker.
And you're still hating those lips because we got that picture last week, and the lips is still bugging you here.
It just, it doesn't, like, I get it. It's supposed to kind of, I don't know, it reminds me like it's supposed to be the Dark Knight style, but it looks bad. It doesn't look smeared like that. It just looks like it's really thick all the way out, like it's not faded properly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that's really stuck on that, but I am excited to see what they do with that, because I do like Jared Leto. He wasn't, you know, great in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we can say that.
Mildly.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this one, you know, showcases him a little better, and, you know, hopefully by the end of it, I'll be over the fact of the terrible lipstick.
He wasn't in Justice League at all, right?
No. So what happened to him between the last time we talked about this with you is they gave him some money to go shoot some additional stuff, and there is so majority of the film was all the stuff he shot in 2016-17, but then he did go and film some stuff, and Jared Leto was one of those that they brought on, and he wanted to, because of course, some people want a Justice League 2 with Snyder. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But in his mind, he wanted to at least give Batman and Joker like a scene together, because it's never happened before. So that was one of the things. So, and this is one thing that I really like is, so that scene you saw of them together, it's like them in the apocalypse, like the main bad guy has won, and it's like Batman has to go to Joker to actually help them like beat the bad guy and stuff like that. So he's turning to his worst enemy in the, you know, desperate time sort of situation. So that is new stuff. They filmed, I think, somewhere between like 4 to 6 additional, like there'll be 4 to 6 additional minutes that they filmed this year or last year, but then the rest of it's all Snyder stuff. And he said that you've seen 1/4 of his footage from the original one. So maybe,
severe,
maybe about an hour or something like that. So, Taylor, obviously last night, and I'll say my thoughts. Like I like the trailer quite a bit, but I usually like the trailers for Snyder stuff. I am interested because I think I'm gonna like it the same as BVS, where I like some things but then have major problems with other stuff. But I am very excited. But you can check out guest on DC Alliance, and thanks to everyone that watched our trailer reaction, because over 5,000 people watched that. So that was a nice little meeting there. So I talked twice about it, so go check it out there. But Taylor, we talked about this last night. That you already love Justice League, or I won't say love, but you know, you gave it a B, you know, 8.5, so still quite like it. And then you got this version coming out. So what do you think about this trailer?
This again, I feel like the build up to this trailer was just kind of being alluded to, obviously, because Zack Snyder likes to drop his tweets on the daily basis of like screenshots and stuff. So I was like, okay, we're getting there. I didn't even know that we were getting that trailer on the day of, unless, you know, without you guys in my life to tell me, or you, Travis, to tell me we're getting this trailer. Like, okay, so looking forward to the trailer. And sure enough, it was good. It felt very Watchmen-like, like esque, more so than BVS did, with that Zack Snyder aesthetic. But that being said, like, I'm excited for it. Again, like, yeah, I like the original Justice League movie, and this one, again, is just gonna be the same movie, but just, again, expanded, built upon, with more characters and just more stuff that I liked from the first one.
Movie.
Oh God, cancel Taylor. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for this. I do look forward to seeing Joker and Batman together in the post-apocalypse or whatever. And yeah, just seeing Jared Leto back, like it makes me wonder: are we gonna get him in Birds of Prey 2 with Harley Quinn? Are we gonna see him reprise
Well,
more?
unfortunately, we're not
Or
getting a Birds of Prey 2 according to Margot
oh,
Robbie. So
well, I'm curious. Maybe they'll use him
yeah.
in like James Gunn's Suicide Squad somehow or something. Who knows? But he's just. It's cool to see him back now, and obviously, I wonder. Not to poke fun at him, but I wonder, is he gonna like go to one of his retreats after this again and come back into the world? Be like, what's going on? You know?
He's always at one of his retreats. His fucking
Yeah.
Jesus creepy whatever. Yeah, I'm giving him a second chance in Joker, but he's still a fucking weird dude, you know? Like,
Well, I'm glad they clarified that he didn't send dead animals to his cohorts on set. So I'm glad that
they
they.
never clarified the condom parts though.
No, they failed to mention that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still some strange stuff. Kirkland, oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, I just
Take away Kirkland's time.
yeah, I mean, what else am I here for? I did just rewatch it, and just because I knew Taylor would just talk about how much he loved it, so I was like, well, he's talking about how much he loved it. I might as well rewatch it. And there is quite a bit of different scenes from what we watched last night, but originally I was going to ask about kind of the rating of Justice League, because I see that this one's rated R.
Yeah, original is 13.
So there's obviously going to be more than one F-bomb and one bitch.
It's that, but it's more the violence. That's been what, like, there is, like, they have said Batman's going to drop the F-bomb like we talked about last night, but there is going to be, it's more the violence side of what's pushing it over to the R rating, apparently.
And do you think it has anything to do with that change in the editing to make Steven look more violent and scarier and things like that? The change in CGI?
Well, yeah, I think there's just scenes that he probably filmed originally, and then when they went and looked at, they're like, this can't be in the movie. That's too much. Because Batman v Superman, when they put out the director cut to that was also rated R. So other than that fucking Owl movie and Man of Steel, I think all his movies have been rated R. BVS wasn't rated R, went to the theaters, but when he put out his version, it was rated R. So he likes to put up the violence. So I think it's more just the scenes that he filmed originally were just a bit more gruesome, and he doesn't have to cut any because it's on a streaming service. So that's the one good thing about a streaming service. You don't really have to worry about that. Yeah, sure, maybe a few kids don't watch it, but they'll wait for their parents to go to bed and turn it on later. Like, if I could sneak down and watch Austin Powers 2 when I was a kid, they'll find a way to get past the fucking parental guides to, watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I think it'll just be violence. I don't think they're going to be like Batman and Wonder Woman like hardcore banging or something after they save the day. Like, I don't think we're getting that, but
I'm not getting those super dicks.
But no super dicks either, like
the set of the Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, I scrapped that story because we ended up getting lots of news, but I can still bring it up later if we want. But yeah, that's wild. Kirkland, now that Jessica is not cutting into your time now,
Thank you for my time to speak.
You got 30 seconds.
If I was host, I would mute you right now.
I can mute myself. Just leave.
Yeah, he's too busy. He's too busy catching some fucking Pokemon or something, probably.
No, he's probably reading his comics that he's catching up on.
Oh.
Yeah, so after we watched Justice League yesterday, go check that out. I rewatched the trailer afterwards and then rewatched it with the side-by-side comparison.
You rewatched the movie? No.
Yeah, the movie. Watched the Snyder cut side by side. It went a lot longer than the first version. But yeah, no, I'm like the highest hype level that I've ever been for this Snyder cut. Definitely after watching the Justice League, not for I'm just so excited to get some more screen time with these characters other than Henry Cavill. That's the one guy I'm excited to see a lot more on screen time, but I'm just excited to see the changes with Steppenwolf. It just looks so much better, night and day better since what we saw in the first version, and being able to see Darkseid. Is it
Darkseid? Yeah, it's Darkseid.
I could hear Taylor, the way Taylor said it.
Darkseid?
Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, is that the wrong way or the right way? Oh no. But no, I am excited to just see the changes and to see what version we get. And I think I already talked about it, but I am excited to see the Joker and Batman on screen together. So overall, yeah, it was a good trailer.
There we go. We got some stuff coming. We'll be reviewing it. So exciting stuff. I'll throw to this one first because I'm always interested to see what Jessica wants to feel with talking about like Slapdick and Jackosaurus and everything like that. So Borderlands has a new casting since we did our last newscast. I'm not sure if Dylan's been following any of this as far as the cast so far, but so far
He's not
we
there.
got Kevin Hart.
He's like, oh, they're talking
We got
about Snyder
Kevin
Cut. I'm out.
I watched the trailer.
We got Kevin Hart as Tumblejacks or whatever, and then Kate Blanchett as what's her name? Tumbleweed.
What is some like brand of cereal you're just naming off? Tumble Jacks.
But anyways, we got new casting. So tell us who that was, because I have no idea who it is. It's a
It's
monitor.
Jack Black. It's Jack Black as Captain Slaps.
Captain Slaps.
I
Wow.
thought he was the Claptrap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dylan.
Clap.
Travis just always calls him
Oh, okay.
every character by something different, kind of like
Oh,
we
I-
do with Benedict
I see.
Cumberdoodle.
I'm just confused. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get all these names together. So
Yeah. So, Dylan, have you followed all the different castings for this movie at all?
Well, I know there's just like an insane cast for it, but I haven't like followed like who's who because I played like Borderlands 1 and then like a little bit of some of the other games. So I'm kind of out of it on who even all the characters are at this point. But you know, Jack Black is my
That's who's
man.
playing.
So that makes me like, I'm not gonna say significantly more excited, but it makes me more excited for sure.
So yeah, so we have Kate Blanchett as Lilith, who
Okay.
is
Yeah, she's like the siren in the first game. right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did Kevin Hart as Roland, who is something that I was recently reminded of, Lilith's love interest, which kind of an interesting age difference
Really?
there.
Kevin
Is he in the
Hart.
first game? That
Yeah,
character?
yeah, he's the one that drops the turrets.
Is there an
Okay, yeah.
age difference there between Kevin Hart and Kate Blanchett?
Size
I feel like you're
difference.
thinking. Did she say size or age? I feel like Kevin Hart's a lot older than we're giving him credit.
He's
Yeah,
in his
big size.
like late mid 40s, isn't he?
He's got to be in his 40s.
He's 41.
Is he really?
Okay. And Kate
And,
Blanchett, it doesn't matter. She's ageless. She's priceless. So
Priceless.
and she is
she's 51.
51.
So she got a whole 10 years on him. There you go. But
She
it's Kate
looks.
Blanchett.
I'm sorry to say, she looks more than 10 years older than him.
Whoa.
Oh no,
I'm
she
gonna
looks like a
drop
fucking
that.
goddess.
She's
right
an
now.
elf. She's actually like thousands of years old.
And then we have Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
nice.
I don't know who Tanis is.
Put her in
Yeah.
WandaVision.
She had short black hair. She was kind of crazy, lived in a little hut in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
AKA Jessica.
And then we have Jack Black as Claptrap,
I,
the robot.
you know, I bet that he's not just the voice. I bet he's also doing mocap for that character. I can picture it. I can picture it.
So,
Even though that character like rolls around on a wheel, I still think he
He's
could do
gonna
it.
mocap it.
so I have two comments on this new casting. More than that, actually, but two main comments to start us off. One is, I mean, we are like one cast away from Jumanji 3.
Oh yeah, we're like it's
And-
gonna happen.
And the sad thing is, Brick is the big beastie guy that just punches everything. Like his moves are literally
Oh.
to punch people. So I am really worried that we are going to have Jumanji as the cast for this.
Fuck, I hope it happens. I still hope the
hope
Jumanji
it
reunion
But
happens.
Dwayne
love
is like a
Jumanji.
lot more expensive than the rest of them. So
100%.
More expensive than Kate?
Yeah.
Oh
'cause-
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he like
Fortunately,
the
like-
most expensive person right now in the?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 2 years in a row he is the most high, like #1 paid actor in Hollywood. Because Kate Blanchett, yeah, multiple-time Oscar winner, but like still doesn't have that box. Like, she's not making
Yeah.
San Junipero, not San. What the fuck is that called? San Andreas or Rampage. Even though I would, I know San Junipero is something completely
I'm
different.
down for that recast. Doing the same thing. over.
San Junipero with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Oh no. But I would love to see Rampage with Kate Blanchett. That movie would have been way better. But yeah, The Rock makes sense. That would be a lot of money.
I mean, I'd be down for them to put Karen Gillan in this game.
I was just gonna say,
somehow,
yeah.
you know, gonna happen, but put her in there.
What about Joe Jonas or Nick Jonas? Sorry.
Alex Wolf. or Nat
Right,
Wolf,
Alex
whatever
Wolf.
fucking one it
Yeah,
is.
we don't know. One of the wolves, the Wolf
Who's
brothers.
the guy that plays that like funny NPC character? He was like always giving them quests.
He's good.
I always forget that guy's name, but he's funny.
He's a good character actor.
Yeah.
I'm not. There are a lot of people who give you a lot of quests. So
No, I mean in Jumanji, that guy
Oh.
that gives them the quests.
I don't care about Jumanji.
You better. It's a prequel to this fucking movie.
Jumanji 3, the Borderlands. Great.
Yeah, that's the twist. They go into Borderlands. This whole movie's just a backdoor Jumanji sequel.
Isn't this movie directed by what's his name again? It's
Eli Roth. Eli Roth. Yeah.
That's the guy from all the Tarantino movies, right?
Bear Jew and everything like that. Yeah. I don't.
That's quite the image to picture that character as, like the guy who directs this movie.
Yeah, I don't know as much about Borderlands, but when we talked about that, I actually think he's a good choice for this. I think he has a style that will work for it. That's me saying that as someone that's never played the game, but just it feels like from what I've heard Borderlands described, and Eli Roth's style sounds like it would fit. So
Yeah.
The other thing too that Taylor kind of brought this up in the chat, but he didn't agree with it. But I think it's a really great point. Is technically, I mean, in the fact that Claptrap is 100% just going to be a CGI entity, why didn't they just bring the original voice actor from the games?
because that doesn't do anything to sell
Now you
this
can
movie.
put Jack Black on a poster.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, I don't know. To me, it just brings you out of it though, because Jack Black is such a recognizable voice. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Jack Black, but I just think that it's one of those people when you hear him talking, you know, you see him. Doesn't matter that it's a CGI robot.
Yeah.
It's Jack
But
Black.
isn't that the same for like Kevin Hart as well, where he's always just Kevin Hart doing?
I've
his
already
Kevin Hart
already
thing?
complained about Kevin Hart. We're complaining
Yeah.
about Jack Black right now.
Yeah, but like I've said,
I just don't
unfortunately-
accept complaining about Jack Black.
I think unfortunately for you that they want to sell this movie to people that have never ever heard of Borderlands. They want the people to think they see Borderlands like, oh, this is a cool new movie. I wonder where they got this idea. They don't care if you hear Jack Black and think Jack Black. They want that. They want people to go see it because Jack Black's a voice and Kevin Hart's in and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess I wonder how much this is being targeted towards gamers or Borderland fans in general, and not just being like some wacky Western, like sci-fi Western thing.
I'd say
Which is-
15%. That's
Yeah.
that's how high I go. You know.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I mean, wasn't there like some controversy with like them recasting the voice of Claptrap in the games? Like changed voice actors at some point anyway. So I don't know. Maybe there's some confusion. Maybe there's something weird there with whoever voiced the character originally as well.
I don't know. For me, I feel like every post that I see, because I do follow a lot of these pages, right? All our feeds are different depending on what we follow. I follow a lot of Borderlands things, and almost every single one, the comments are not impressed with the casting calls. So, like you said, it's definitely not being aimed at the people who
Yeah.
are fans and who have played this for.
That's
Yeah,
why
I
you need to
guess-
follow the Elizabeth Olsen Facebook pages because when they post photos, the comments are all good. They're all good.
Well,
Anyways,
the-
you're saying
The,
Dylan,
the photos are all good in your mind too.
of course.
I guess I guess I'm clearly not nearly as involved. You have a tattoo of Borderlands on your body, so clearly you're a lot more invested than I am. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm maybe concerned if they're going all out on actors. I hope that they're saving some of that budget for the actual movie so that it can look good, because I feel like, I mean, you could get away with just having a desert setting maybe isn't as expensive as some, I don't know, big Star Wars like Coruscant type thing, but I feel like you still would need a lot of money to make that Borderlands experience authentic, especially like visual style too, right? That game has a very distinct style with the cell shading. I wonder if they're trying to replicate that some way with the visuals. Has there been like any shots or any? There hasn't been a trailer.
No, they're
I'm
just
certain.
in pre-production now. They're not even filming yet. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
I guess that would be my bigger concern. I mean, the Kevin Hart. I'm not really a Kevin Hart fan, so that's I feel like where I would be against it. But I mean, Jack Black as Claptrap, they probably have some voice changer on there. He'll be doing his goofy thing. You might be able to pick up on it, but I don't know. Borderlands is like very goofy and over the top, so maybe. I mean, even Kevin Hart for that same reason could be great in that role. So I don't know.
I was laughing because in our YouTube chat, Carl says, "Morning, guys. Good morning, you piece of
Hello,
garbage."
Carl.
And then Sid Harth, he must be watching on the like a couple minutes behind because he just kind of come in. He's like, "Posters for Mortal Kombat were good." And, okay, Sid Harth, that's good for you.
That's a cool name, Sid Harth.
Yeah,
like that.
we definitely talked about it 40 minutes ago, but I'm guessing he's on the playback, so that's funny.
See, the thing that's sad for me is, Borderlands, there's a huge universe. There's, the 3 games plus the prequel, plus we have all the spin-offs with the Tales from the Borderlands, like the Telltale games. And I don't think this movie is going to be good enough that we'll get a second one. Like I'm kind of cutting my losses right now, which is really unfortunate because each one does have, like, there's some returning characters, like Lilith is been all the way through Borderlands 1, 2, and 3, but the main characters switch in each one, which would, we wouldn't have to necessarily see Kevin Hart in every single movie, and we wouldn't have to necessarily, but I don't think we're gonna get that. That's really sad for me.
Or it's the reverse, that is very popular, but it's popular because like you might not like it, but it'll be very popular, so then it continues on. Like I hated the Goosebumps movie, but guess what? It was popular enough to get another bad sequel, and here I am. That's why I was laughing because like Jack Black to me poisoned Goosebumps. So when I saw Jack Black cast in this, I was like, yeah, he tastes this medicine, because you know what's gonna happen. Taylor will love it, but in the Assassin's Creed Netflix show, Jack Black's gonna come and he's gonna be in that. And then whenever they make Dragon Ball Z again, North American, Goku's gonna be played by Jack Black. Like he just loves to come in here, dip his toes in, get some money, and just play. For me, who's not a big Jack Black fan, just play the same character he always is, and then bounce out. And it's like, oh, thanks for being R.L. Stein, asshole.
Like I would love to just come into some money and hire some really, really amazing cosplayers to like make this movie.
That's not how it works. You'd be sued out the yin. You'd have to have lots of amazing money. You'd have to buy the rights to this. You'd have to produce.
Yeah, I'm not
everything.
talking about the logistics. I'm just talking about not hiring people like that are freaking Kevin Hart for this movie.
Okay, well, Kevin Hart's probably a better actor than all of those cosplayers combined.
You know what? He's still gonna ruin my movie.
So, but what if it's this situation that because sometimes this happens with stars and they go, if we don't really have a star attached to this movie, if no one's interested, we're not gonna make it. What if Kevin Hart's the only reason this movie's getting made?
Well, then I guess I don't have this movie.
Okay, well there you go.
Put him in a different role. He's not Roland.
Wow.
Yeah,
Taylor,
I mean, at the end of the day, you still have all those games that you can play. So this is just something else there. And maybe you just watch it once and never watch it again, but the games are still there. So
no, they did announce still that once this movie comes out, they're taking away all the video games.
They're not listed from the
they're ransacking people's house like the same way they took Cyberpunk off the PS5 store. They're doing the same thing with Borderlands.
Nice.
Like you got to buy the movie to unlock the game. So, Taylor, Kirklin, any thoughts on Jack Black playing Slim Jim?
You want to go first, Kirk?
No opinion.
Okay.
No, don't throw to me. I'm looking at Olsen memes.
So, my initial thought with this is when you're dealing with a video game franchise that you're adapting to live action, your worst enemy is going to be the fans of that franchise, and they hold this on such a pedestal because it's so prized to them. And again,
he's talking about you, Jessica.
Well, and myself, because again, this is the thing with Assassin's Creed. This is the thing with Warcraft. This is the thing with Sonic fans.
You liked all those movies, though, Taylor. You were very.
I know that. I'm building to that. So, this again, you have this on such a high pedestal as a fan of these franchises, and there's either two things that you can try to do when you're making these movies. You can either do your own complete spin and go down a whole different path that does not associate with like the base game at all. And again, we had that with Pokemon. It wasn't following Ash Ketchum. It was just going on its own story, its own path, whatever. Or you can do the other thing, which fans sometimes want. They want you to just do a straight up adaptation of the game, which is just down to the core, honoring it to a T. And again, that's a very hard thing to do, and not many companies do that, again, because they want the creative control, they want to give it their own twists and stuff like that. So again, that's why I feel like most video game movies don't do a very good job. Again, that's where I feel like Sonic is kind of like a breaking from that stride because again, I don't know a huge amount of Sonic lore, but to me it felt like a fresh take. It felt like it was taking good things from the universe and just kind of giving us a fresh breath of air into this whole aspect and aesthetic of Sonic the Hedgehog. So when you have this movie with Kevin Hart and Jack Black and all that, I'm definitely curious because it shows that, okay, they are getting those big names attached to it. That doesn't mean it's going to be a success because we've had good big names attached to other franchises like Jeremy Irons, Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, and
Yeah.
the list goes on. So it'll come down to, in my perspective, are they going to follow the game's storyline very accurately and closely, or are they just going to wing it and go completely into a new direction? So that's where it'll be interesting as fans because either the community's all going to be together or the community's going to break apart where the community's going to be like, I like the new direction they took it was cool, or the community's going to be like, oh, they should have just followed the game and the plot. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
On that note, I think you bring up a really good point, and I think I would be fine with this casting if it was just in the Borderlands world with unknown characters. Like, because you could do so much with this world and take, all the side characters that are, give the quests and, things like that, and then have a completely new set of Vault Hunters. And I would be completely fine with that because then I'm not attaching it to anything. It's just like, oh, it's a Borderlands world movie. And to me, that would be more interesting. So Taylor brings up a really great point where they're trying to cast these characters that we've followed for multiple games and have images in our heads and thoughts and happy serotonin releases when we think of them, and cast Jack Black.
Oh, we'll see. Well, I'm gonna there's probably definitely gonna be an ad break. You'll hear like earlier on because Kirklin did not remind me. It's Kirklin's job every half an hour to text me and say it's time for an ad break, but he didn't.
I was wondering about that actually. I was like, we've been going for a long time.
Yeah. So
I don't know, man. I see it in the chat. Ad break ? So
when did he do that he did the very beginning of the cast?
Oh yeah, that was at 8:37.
Yeah.
But I'm still
but yeah, so this is probably the second ad break. We're gonna take one. We'll be right back. All right. This won't be quick. We just had to answer. This is because it came up again. This will be for me and Taylor. And if you two want to say anything on it, you can't. But so Taylor, this week, Rian Johnson did an interview, and he said his trilogy is still happening. Just there's no date, there's no pre-production, there's no filming plan, nothing like that. But he said it's still happening. Do you think it's still happening, Taylor? Because we actually have talked about this in a while, but it's been quiet. He made Knives Out, lots of success. He's making Knives Out 2 and everything like that. But they obviously, I don't know what he's promoting right now, but he was asked. He's always going to be asked that until they say no. And Taylor, are we going to get that Rian Johnson trilogy?
Well, at the end of the day, I can be like, yeah, there's COVID going on. There's a pandemic. It's lockdown, but I'm still getting married in August, and it's still going on. There's gonna be a wedding. I feel like that's the Rian Johnson right now. Like no production, no writing, nothing like that, but it's still going on. So we just gotta have a little bit of faith and see what happens.
But if you have to guess, you think it still could happen?
I think if it's come this far and Disney still is giving him the green light that it's going to happen, then I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. So I think so. I don't think it's going to be, because obviously they pushed all these movies back by a year because we were getting that new Star Wars trilogy or those new films coming in 2022, and then they pushed it or something like that. So whether or not that was his, I don't think it was, but it's interesting to think when is it going to start? When is it going to come? Because now we have the Rian Johnson trilogy, we have the Taika Waititi film, we have the Rogue Squadron film, we have the Kevin Feige film, which is probably the same status as the Johnson trilogy, just not being worked on. Feige's busy right now, all those Wanda memes. So
yeah. Oh yeah, he's making them.
He's the one. He's leading all the groups.
Yeah, Dylan, if you don't know, our meme group chat it's just riddled with pretty much Olsen memes now from
what are the meme worthy things.
It's all just about like how like the entire internet is. Jessica's shaking her head, but just like how the internet since episode 1 has been thirsting over WandaVision. Like there's a good one Emily just sent me, and it was like your parents tell you like just eat your food, it's not too hot, and then it's like the food, and then it's a picture of Elizabeth Olsen, stuff like that. And there's been just like just tons of stuff, and there's just like even in this newest episode coming up, it just feels like there's subliminal messaging going on of like, I don't know. I think she's just having a moment. She's just feels. I said this earlier in the chat. She's like Margot Robbie coming off Wolf of Wall Street. That like, just men and women are alike, or just can't get enough of the Olsen. But that's what our meme group now is meme is Olsen, and it's just Olsen memes pretty much. That's pretty much what it is, and it's a good time.
You can't stop the internet from being incredibly horny at any piece of media ever. So there you go.
So I'll take the different approach. I think this is the situation because I think we've all been there, but particularly guys, where you like a girl and you don't know for sure she's interested, but she always talks to you. You always go, oh, she might be interested. This is great. And you ask her, oh, you know what? I'm a little busy, but maybe another time. You go, okay, it's been a couple more. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just a little busy. Maybe another time. And then she keeps saying that and saying that and saying that. And eventually you have to realize, oh, she just doesn't want to go out with me. She's just being nice. I feel like this is what Rian Johnson is doing and Disney until eventually when enough time has passed. I think they're still like they're dangling a carrot enough to be like, oh, we might do it maybe. Like, let's see what happens with Mandalorian and see if we got to fire anybody more for like bad tweets. But like, I think Rian Johnson is that girl. And Star Wars 2, I think they've both agreed that they're just going to say, hey, just deny this for a while. And then eventually when we feel it's safe, say it. I would like it. As always, I'd want to see it, but I still don't think it's going to happen. This conversation comes every once in a while. And like I said, it's been a long break. So that's what we brought up today. And that was the big talk. It was like, oh, look, it's still happening. But I don't think so. I think they're just saying that. And, I think that's.
But why, like, Disney is not one to string you along. I mean, as we've seen, like, this past month, they're pretty quick to take action on things.
Okay, that's a lot different. Rian Johnson isn't making memes about, like, the Holocaust or anything.
Well, I
like
wasn't
that.
saying
like,
that.
Well, but that's what you're implying. So it's just like him versus Gina Carano, a very different situation. His problem is because there's a bunch of whiny fans that think you ruined Star Wars. Hey, don't touch it. And that's fine. There's theater directors like that I go, hey, I would not want them doing this franchise. Please move on. And it doesn't have me go, oh, this sucks. But I think especially with Star Wars, with Disney Plus, he could go do his own thing. He doesn't have to make these characters we know and love. But hey, we'll see. Yeah, I don't foresee it happening. I think they're just waiting for the amp time to announce it at some point, and we'll get it. But it sucks for him because there's lots of fans that do like Last Jedi, but doesn't look like it's happening. So, Kirklin, you got any thoughts on that trilogy? And to update the viewers, Kirklin told me to fuck off, which is not nice, but that's fine.
So sorry, I missed that first part. This isn't happening anymore?
It's in no interview. He said it is happening. He did an interview for something, and he just said that there's no plan right now. There's no filming plan, no schedule. He doesn't know because everyone's really busy, but it's still planned to make it.
I mean, I like good for him because I and like, but like that's not like a solid good for him. It's like this is an opportunity for him to show like his own thing from start to finish. Unlike with Last Jedi, he just kind of threw in there his movie and a lot of people didn't like it, and I felt bad for him because like at the end of the day he's just a guy chosen to do a job. I probably would have done a terrible job if
He
I was in
took
that
the
position.
job.
You would have made a great. You would have made
Give
a great
yourself
Star
some
Wars
credit,
movie.
Kirkland. I want to see your Star Wars movie.
Oh, it would have been, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll start writing it right now and then I'll pitch it.
There we go.
One day.
I think you're gonna have to need more money than I need for my Borderlands movie. So
Well, no,
He needs
he just-
$0 to write a script. So
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
He just wants to pitch it. Your thing was you're gonna you make the whole movie with cosplayers and everything. You have to buy the license from somebody. He's just gonna send a script to Lucasfilm, and they'll never look at it.
I'd
but-
send it right to Kevin Feige. I'm going right to the man who's gonna get shit done.
Give
Yeah.
me a big budget and I'll spend it all on just well-known songs.
In Star Wars. Wow.
got to get that Freebird in there.
Exactly. Freebird, gets Fleetwood Mac, Rolling Stones.
5
whatever.
Foo Fighter songs.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm positive on it.
Carl says you tell him, Kirkland. Carl, you got to watch it. You probably got one more strike. I'm gonna ban you from the chat.
Hey,
so,
I got a strike
Oh.
too, Carl. So this guy's all talk. You won't ban
You're
us.
only on strike 1 though. He's on strike 2. So
Oh,
Just
okay.
be careful. So
I won't
yeah.
stand up for you,
Baseball
Carl.
rules.
I don't want to get a second strike.
I think that ad break thing was probably second strike, but and
Hey,
then
that's bullshit. I told you an ad break, and you're the one that didn't do the
no,
ad
no, no,
break.
no. You confuse us for doing WandaVision because WandaVision, what we do is we do our non-spoilers, then we do an ad break. In a newscast, what do you think? I'm going to intro everyone and then do an ad break for no
Yeah.
reason? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Then you
The
gotta
ad
tell me
break
to
in
start the timer.
the
Jesus.
WandaVision ad break is to give people a chance to go away if they want. But
Hello,
whatever.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our ad break.
Well, not Nat. No, don't listen to that. That's not actual. We just took one. So, this is the last piece of movie TV news. I think this excites some of us at least. Today it was confirmed that Joaquin Phoenix's next movie is going to be with the director of Hereditary. I can't remember. Let me look quickly if there was a plot. I felt like there was a plot a few months ago, but
It's called Disappointment Boulevard. Or something.
Yeah, no, it is.
no, it is. But I thought there was a plot for it. But I will look. But Kirklin, obviously we're a big fan of Ari Aster and his work, and he's always making some exciting stuff with that or Midsommar.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about him being paired up with Joaquin Phoenix, Oscar winner for Joker?
No, it's very exciting news. I feel like that's such a good match. Just for last thing I saw Joaquin Phoenix in was the Joker, and that's a freaking weird movie. And everything I've seen directed by Ari Aster is a pretty weird movie. So I think it's just gonna be such an awesome pairing. I absolutely loved the last two Ari Aster films that I saw, and I just can't wait to see more about this one.
What about you? Let's see. It's described as an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one successful entrepreneur of all time. It's described as a surrealist horror film set in an alternate present. It's unclear if it's the same project or new name as a different one that Aster has been working on with a number of scripts the past few years. So that sounds very out there. So it's like what do they say? Alternate future, and the tagline was what again? About the most spanning decades of a portrait of a most successful entrepreneur. That's
Pretty
so
vague, but also a lot in there.
yeah, classic Ari Aster. But I wonder if it's just going to be about kind of greed or stuff like that. I don't know. Like him doing something about the future or an alternate future is actually pretty interesting. Like I don't think it's going to be sci-fi or anything, but all his other movies have been like based in our reality other than like the horror stuff that goes on, right? But that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, not too many, but I mean, if you look at Midsummer with Florence Pugh and Toni Collette with Hereditary, like if you give Ari Aster a really skilled actor, he can push them to some really intense depths. And so Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor, so I think it's a good matchup. Yeah, the plot's kind of wicked, but I mean, he's just a director that no matter what he does next, like I don't need to see a single trailer. I'll just watch whatever he makes for the time being because he's just proven himself between those two movies.
Jessica Taylor, any thoughts? I know you love these movies, but I'm sure you'll be forced to watch it for Golden Geeks whenever it comes out.
I mean,
You
yeah,
say no.
They're interesting movies, for sure.
We know you're not a Midsummer fan. You can admit it.
I'm an Ad Astra fan.
I don't think he's a Hereditary fan either. Yeah, I don't think he's Ari Aster fan.
Well,
he's much more of a Robert Eggers fan.
I like Hereditary wasn't bad. Actually, I like that. I actually enjoyed that film compared to Midsommar. Like Hereditary was definitely like spooky vibes. Like anything that has like floating people or like crawling on ceilings, like hell, I'm out. Like you got to get the fuck out of there. Like going like. I shouldn't speak ill of my own family, but certain family members were
about to.
yeah, certain family members were like talking about like going off and like making like their own kind of like group community kind of thing out in the woods or whatever. And I was like, as long as it's not like a Midsommar thing,
Leto?
I'd love to come check it out. And they kind of awkwardly laughed at me, so I don't know if they understood my joke.
Oh, they understood. They were like, "Move on."
He's gonna love it there. No, nothing, Jessica. Okay, cool.
I actually didn't hear you ask me. Sorry.
I asked you both because I feel like me, Kirkland, and Dylan talked quite a bit about Ari Aster, so I wasn't sure if you guys had anything to add there. But if you don't,
I haven't watched Midsummer, so I'm actually not 100% sure about that. But I did actually really like Hereditary. I didn't watch it when we had done that Golden Geek, the time when Dylan was shit in the bed over how much he loved it.
Shit in the bed.
Shitting the
Toni
bed.
Collette is amazing. That movie's great.
Yeah, we nominated for best film of the year. It got nom. And
Dylan
she
was trying to
won, wasn't
nominate it in every category. So
it?
like
It got nom. I think it almost.
It's good in every category. The cinematography is amazing. The soundtrack's great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think it did get nominated in every category. Like I know best film, she won for best actress. Alex Wolff got best actor. I know we definitely did visuals and score.
I didn't nominate Midsummer for everything. Hereditary earned it.
Yeah. I still
so
like Midsommar.
anyway, I haven't seen Midsummer, but I did see Hereditary and I liked it. And you know, obviously saw Joker and enjoyed that too. So I'm interested to see this. Would like a little more information on it, but I mean, you know, interested enough to watch it. It's not going to be like a Disney Plus premium thing where I'm paying $40 for it.
Definitely not gonna be on Disney Plus. That's not gonna be one for the family.
So yeah, it's still pretty early to really make any comments on it, other than, you know, director who, from what I've seen from him, is good, and actor from what I've seen from him is good, and in theory, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a wild trailer. So there we go. Taylor, is there anything I'm missing for you for movie or TV? Anything like that? I know there's always something you're like, oh wait, but
For movie and TV, no. I mean, I will shut out the fact that I mean, if things go according to plan, I mean, I will try and do a review for the what do you call it? Wrong Turn reboot, if everything goes according to plan.
when does that come out again?
I believe it is February 22nd, I think, or it's next week sometime. So if it comes out, then I will do that. And now that, yeah, Kirkland, like you said, if I checked on iTunes movies and they have it like to buy Monster Hunter, so I may do a review for Monster Hunter here this weekend.
What? The movie is months old.
What, Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but it hasn't. Literally, people that pre-ordered it back in December, it just vanished. No one got it. So now, literally, now it's finally out. So
At least if you review that, wait a couple days till after WandaVision, so you don't fuck with the algorithm and the first thing
I don't want to
pop
steal
up.
all those hits from WandaVision. Everyone.
No, you don't. You don't want the first thing people looking for a WandaVision review, and it's like Monster Hunter. What wrong turn? I think I took a wrong turn here. Let's talk about. So this is something that I think I know Taylor you'll be able to talk about, and Dylan. I didn't get to catch it. I've heard a little bit, but Dylan, you watched the direct. Pitch us why, because you and I were talking about this. The entire internet has been pitchforking Nintendo this week over. I saw a lot of wolf tweets and whatnot, but you quite enjoyed the direct, right?
Yeah, for me personally, I thought it was pretty good. There was one like really big surprise in there that was really awesome, and then there was some other just like kind of things sprinkled in there that I found interesting. And I think thinking on it more, I do understand more where people are coming from. You know, we've been waiting so long for a mainline direct, like it's been like over 500 days. So it's been a long ass time. And so obviously there's a lot of hype that gets built up in that period of time. And I guess people seem bummed by it, but personally, I quite enjoyed it. I think maybe if there is, my main criticism of it is that there wasn't too much that highlighted stuff to get excited for soon. Like the earliest like new announcement is like Mario Golf, which is in June. That's like really far away. And like they have other stuff, like they have Bravely Default's coming out I think like next week, and then next month is Monster Hunter, and then I think Pokemon Snap is in April. So there is other stuff, but I feel like all three of those things are quite niche. So I was kind of expecting that they have something sooner in the year that would be more of all-encompassing for everybody. And even then, Mario Golf is like pretty niche, even though it has Mario in the title. So, but overall, I really enjoyed it. A lot of ports as usual. I think maybe they clogged a bit too. Like they maybe could have parsed it down a bit and taken out a few of those. Like Fall Guys is coming out in the summer. You know, like you don't need to announce that right now. And there's like a Ninja Gaiden collection coming. I don't know. There's just so many random ports that I feel like kind of clogged it down a bit. But overall, I was, you know, it's been so long since we've had a big direct, and I was happy with a lot of the announcements in there. What did you think, Taylor? Did you watch the whole thing?
Well, on Facebook, he said they better get their shit together. I'm gonna break my Switch. So he was pretty disappointed by it. Yeah.
That's quite strong sentiments.
Mm-hmm. It's actually because I lost all my GameStop stock. No, I'm actually like I'm not in the same boat as you are, Dylan, because like yeah, I did watch it and it wasn't super exciting for me. Again, like I was kind of I didn't I was talking to Travis and I was like, "Oh, Travis, did you know that Nintendo actually bought out Next Level Games and it'll be all like cemented in come March 1st?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know, Dylan told me." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, this is news I need to know. He's not
Well,
sharing
maybe
the
if you
load.
answered my messages on the Sea of Thieves streams, I could have told you about that.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean that happened. I don't know, a couple months ago, and I mean it'll be a long time before. Like you'll get strikers now, 100%, but it'll take
Will we
like,
though? Like,
I think
I
so.
wanna
That
believe.
was Next
I
Level
wanna
Games like
believe, but-
big hit as a company. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah.
Strikers.
they'll absolutely do
I
it. I mean,
hope.
it's just that Luigi's Mansion came out. I mean, I guess it came out in 2019 now, so it's been a while. But still, like I would not be shocked if they've started working on that now, and it's coming out at some point. Obviously, they're going to stagger it far away from Mario Golf, but
we don't know what they're working on yet, right?
Next Level Games, no.
My worry is it's like Luigi's Mansion 4. Here we go. And I would still like that, but that's my worry because Luigi's Mansion did sell pretty well, right? And that's my concern is that they will just be like, well, make us another one.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It sold sold all right. I don't know. I could go down that path again. But I don't know. There's always been such a huge gap between all the Luigi's Mansions that maybe they want to let that one sit for a bit longer too. But on the same token, if the Mario Golf they knew was coming out this year, maybe they wouldn't get them on it right away. So even if it's not the next game they make, they'll make it at some point. Like in the Switch life cycle, you get that Mario Strikers from Next Level Games. It's just bound to happen because like in every couple of years, Nintendo needs a Mario Tennis, a Mario Party, a Mario Golf, like something in that style that's just the party games. So and it's Mario Golf will be here, but then maybe next year or the year after, could see Strikers happening.
When we get a Strikers, the same way for Smash Ultimate when we did that like day-long tournament, we're doing that for Strikers. We're getting as many people as possible. We're gonna throw out the Strikers symbol, and we're just gonna do a huge tournament. I cannot that day. That's gonna be the same way when we were at the Game Awards. No, we were never at, but we were watching the Game Awards, and we got that Marvel Alliance announcement. It's just like, man, like the two things left on our list to get is like Hannibal season 4 and a Strikers game. Like that's like the podcast achievement level of like, okay, once we get these, we'll be complete.
And that's where I see the criticisms people had of this direct. There didn't seem to be that game. Like there wasn't like when Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced, like people were popping off. You in particular, Travis, obviously you love the first game so much. And then Ultimate Alliance wasn't at a direct, but still same sort of thing. There wasn't really a game like that. Like Mario Golf is cool and I might pick it up, but I don't know if it's on that tier of games. Although Mario Golf does look like a lot of fun, and there is one of the modes in there that they have. I don't know what it's called. The game's called Mario Golf Super Rush, so maybe it's called Super Rush mode, where it's just everyone like tees off at the same time, and then there isn't turns. Like everyone just charges the course, and I don't know if you can like knock people over or like hit people's balls the other direction. But that seems like a lot of fun. I would love to play that with you guys. Yeah. That would be just like a prime stream moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminiscing, Dylan, over my my beautiful chip shot.
That's strike 3, Taylor. Kick him from the chat.
Hey, that would have been strike 2. I'm not on strike 2 yet.
No, strike 2 is the ads. Remember?
GB moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was really excited to see that one, and just like the different modes that they were talking about on there. And then like my biggest hype moment out of the direct was the Skyward Sword remake for Switch. I've never played that one. I think it came out on Wii like only, so I didn't have that console.
I think they ported it to Wii U, but yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go. And so I missed that one, but then they announced that they'll actually have like non-motion controls, like you'll be able to play with a Pro Controller or whatever it might be. So I would be really excited to play through that game because I heard it's really good.
Do you think you're gonna get that? Because it's a $80 game, like they don't hold back.
Down the line.
Yeah. But that's games. The thing too. That's where Nintendo gets you. That thing will never go on sale for more than $10-15 off. So you're never gonna like save an adequate amount of money. And that, like, I thought that was I expected some Zelda thing, and I expected a port. I thought it would be Wind Waker, but this one's not too off of what I was thinking. But it just seems like just so savage to put it at that price point. Like,
no, absolutely.
Me and Taylor on our review of Mario 3D All Stars talked about the value there and how it felt really overpriced. And that was for a Wii game, a GameCube game, and an N64 game. This is one Wii game, and it's the same. It's $80. Like that's just so savage for what. Like they just like up-res it a bit, but to me, I didn't even think it looked that like the visuals. I don't know the quality. I guess obviously like a YouTube stream is like, the quality is kind of downgraded, but like it's compressed. But still, I don't know.
Even if you compare it to like Tony Hawk when that came out, because that was 2 games and it was still only $60 or something.
Yeah, is that discount price?
Yeah. Damn.
So
Nintendo.
I don't know how I feel about that one. Yeah, but I mean I haven't played that one either. Anyone here? Okay, yeah, Jessica's got it there. Where does it land for you in Zelda games? Is it like one of your favorites? Is it lower tier, mid? Where is it?
Was one of the ones that I didn't actually end up finishing all the way through. So,
damn.
Yeah, kind of ended up just falling short for me. I have no interest in rebuying this at all. So
just the savage taker.
Well, there's nothing new in it, right?
Nice try, Nintendo.
When they remade Link's Awakening, they remade the game ground up with really nice art style, and then they even added like a mode, like a dungeon building mode in there. I don't know. This just seems a really cheap thing to do.
Well, let me ask you this, Jessica. Would you buy it if Kevin Hart was now Link? Like, would that sell you?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. So you're not for Borderlands, but for Link. So when they do the Zelda live action movie, you want
Oh
Kevin
my God.
I want Kevin Hart, and I want Jack Black in there as Epona too. So
no, it would be good if Kevin Hart plays young Link and then The Rock plays like grown up Link. Let's do it.
That's probably why they canceled the Netflix show, Nintendo, because they couldn't get Kevin Hart on board.
Yeah, we never talked about that. How stupid that was! Just because some leaks, they like canceled the Netflix show.
It's Nintendo
Are you
for
fucking
you.
kidding me? They're such idiots, especially after The Witcher. Like Zelda TV series could have been the biggest thing going on right now. They could have had the Olsen memes, but no, they're fucking some leaks came. We can't do Netflix. Oh my God.
People do thirst over Link, so there you go. It's possible.
Well, yeah, cast her as Link. Perfect.
people also cast over Zelda, so I mean it works either way. No matter
Paul Bettany as Zelda and her as Link. We're good to go. Recapture the magic.
It's the dream.
And wasn't there a confirmation that we are getting a second, not Skyward Sword, the new one that just came out?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
we're getting one.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're getting a second one of that, I mean, I'd rather spend my $80 on that as a Link game as opposed to a re-release.
Don't worry about it. Don't do it. Yeah.
Didn't you like Breath of the Wild?
Hates horse mechanics.
I don't hate
overrated.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, horse mechanics fucking suck. I'll tell you about that. Yeah, but no, I'm just joking. I'm sure you would have a good time with the game when it comes out. But yeah, lots of people are disappointed by that because I swear, like I thought it was gonna happen too. But every post I saw about the direct was just like, you know, oh, Breath of the Wild update. Here we go, Breath of the Wild, and just zero. Taylor, were you? Was that a hand up? Your clap?
I'm trying. Yeah, it keeps clocking off like so quick.
Clobbing off?
Clocking off.
Son, stop clobbing off in there. What's your hand up for today?
Just back onto the direct. Like something like kind of like was just a downer for me. Like again, I wasn't expecting to be a Strikers like announced in this direct when I saw that they just purchased Next Level Games. But like for me, I've really been wanting a new Mario Kart, and I've been holding off on getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch because I just feel like it's been such a long time, and I feel like we're due for a new one, and I don't want to drop $80 on a Mario Kart. We're going to get that new one with all new characters, courses, all that jazz. So that was a downer for me. And then the other thing, again, not that like I have played Breath of the Wild, but not like I'm not like a massive fan. My one friend, she was watching at the same time I was, and she was like super stoked because she was I was telling her like, oh, they have direct and maybe you might get some Breath of the Wild 2 news, who knows, but they were like, oh,
that's cruel. That's
I know. Well, to be fair, they played the cinematic for Legend of Zelda, and it was popping off, and she was like messaging me in the chat like, oh my god, Taylor, all caps. It's like expansion coming to Hyrule Warriors. It's like, oh, that sucks. And then right after it's like, oh, you've been eagerly waiting news for Breath of the Wild 2. We don't have anything we can say except it's on development. And that crushed her. And I felt kind of like an asshole. But I didn't know they would openly say that in their direct. I thought we would have got something for sure, considering we had like a short cinematic reveal like years ago.
It's funny because I feel like Nintendo does this where like, so I've bought on the Switch now, and I feel like I legitimately buy probably one game a year for it. I got Marvel Alliance, got Mario Party, Emily got Paper Mario, and I got Luigi's Mansion. So when did Marvel Alliance come out? 19, right? 2019?
Yeah, in July 2019.
Yeah, so almost like as of right now, I don't know if I'm buying a game this year. Maybe someone will come up, but as of right now, I'm on pace to do like one game a year. But I feel like Nintendo does this where like they go like they'll do months and they're just like killing it, announcements, new games, stuff like that. And then there's just like a dry spell. Like I even think like when we've talked about this before, when the Switch was initially coming out, that was that dry spell of like they seem like they're making not the right moves. It panned out, but I just feel like there's been so much complaining from the Nintendo community, and I'm not really that much in it anymore. And I just felt like this was going to be one of these like, okay, here's the reboot, the reset, get excited for a bunch of stuff. So I think that was the other thing too, that there's been people been just wanting to get really excited for something. The fact that I think from this, like for me, yeah, like I like Mario Golf. There's stuff that I like in here, but nothing that I'm like, like especially right now with my life, if I'm going to play games, I would need a bit more of a selling point. And I like golf, but I don't know if I need to buy it again for $80. And I think for just from what I've seen from Nintendo people, from the few like gaming podcasters and bloggers I follow, was just like, I think lots of people did expect this to be like, okay, finally Nintendo, they've been kind of sitting around for a little bit, but here's going to be a big move. And it's like, like here we are again. And they'll come back. I remember that for a year they were like that. And then like they had an E3 and they just like, boom, just one E3, massive like press conference or whatever, direct, and it was fantastic. They'll do that again, but it's just they have these dry spells where we're gonna do a bunch of ports and we're gonna make like a 3D world with like some additional worlds and stuff like that. And I think they're just in that rut right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, they, like something like Super Mario 3D All Stars. We think of that as kind of just this. Like me and Taylor both bought it, obviously, but it is like just a lazy port. But that game still sold like just insane numbers, like insane. That is the equivalent of them dropping, maybe not Breath of the Wild 2, but like something just below that tier. So like I don't know, they're busy releasing stuff. Animal Crossing is huge. Like I think it's the biggest Switch game now, sales wise, like eclipsing Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, and I think it's close, if not eclipsing Mario Kart. Like that game was huge last year. So yeah, I mean they had some big releases last year, but I was expecting a little bit more for the first half. I will say, Taylor, like I know it's not the Mario Kart you want, but they did release a Mario Kart in October, like that home circuit version. So it's not what you want, but
on Labo.
But hold back on the hype for Mario Kart because that game is still selling 1 million copies a day. So they're not gonna. It's like GTA. We're never gonna get GTA 6 until GTA 5 stops selling, but that's just not gonna happen. So
did they show any Smash news? Because I heard there was supposed to be Smash news, but I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, okay. They announced the new character is from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's like it's a 2-in-1 character, Pyra and Mithra. I don't really have any connection with them. It's cool. It's kind of like, remember in Melee how Zelda and Sheik could transform back and forth? Okay. It's kind of got that mechanic to it. So it looks interesting. It's coming out next month, so we'll get a Smash Direct like a week before those characters come out. But that didn't really get me. I mean, they look fun enough, but it's not the character I was looking for. I mean, whatever the character is, it always gets me back in there and playing again. So, I mean, I'm excited enough for that.
I just get more bitter every announcement. It's not Waluigi, like how many fucking DLC packs? They did an additional one, and we're still sitting here. There's no fucking Waluigi. Like, I'm getting sick and tired of this. Like, I'm gonna be pretty pissed if we get through all this DLC.
He was in Mario Golf. I think I saw him swinging the club. So
well, everyone needs to play as him, and we can get it. But I swear, if we go through all these DLC packs for Ultimate and they didn't make one room for Waluigi, I'm gonna be really bitter, and I'm gonna break my Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be holding out due to spite at this point.
Yeah, that's fucking lame. I don't want the whole go spite, but yeah.
Hey, Taylor,
the big announcement for me at this. Sorry, were you trying to say something, Kirklin?
Taylor's he had his hands up. I wasn't sure if you wanted to throw something in there.
Just applauding everyone over here.
Oh, okay. He's applauding.
I can. That just blends into your wall for me. I can now see the hand, but because the
first time I saw it now,
my naked eye could spot that.
Clay says he's still waiting from Sora from Kingdom of Hearts to make his way to Smash. It's probably more likely than fucking Waluigi nowadays. So, cool. What was your big announcement, Dylan? You were saying?
Well, Taylor, what do you got, Taylor?
I just wanted to, because we're on the topic.
Just clapping us on.
We're on the topic of Animal Crossing, and that was one quick thing I want to shout out. Was I really like how they have all that Mario content they're adding in, like the warp pipes and stuff, and how you can change your island to like Mario aesthetic. That was very cool.
Yeah, they announced that like last year, and when they announced it, I thought it'd be like, okay, there's a Mario costume and like a POW block. Like I thought it'd be pretty lame, but they went all out. Like seems to be a ton of stuff in there. So that's honestly like I last time I played Animal Crossing was like in July. Like I've kind of fell off the wagon of that one, haven't jumped back on, even though the Christmas stuff and winter seemed interesting. But that is kind of the first one that's really captured me. So I think I'll actually jump back in next week and go get all those Mario items. That seems pretty fun. Yeah, the big one for me was the next game from the team that made Octopath Traveler. I thought they were the team that's working on Bravely Default, so that's why I didn't expect anything from them. I thought they were working on those other games coming out next month, and they were busy doing that, but it turns out they're not. And they have another stupid working title for this game. It's called Project Triangle Strategy. So that's the name they have right now, which is just horrible. And I mean, before I remember we talked about this on cast, but their last game, it was called Project Octopath Traveler, and we're like, wow, what a stupid name. And then they just dropped the project and then released it as that, and it's kind of grown on me. Like I kind of like the name now. I also really like the game, but I really hope they don't just make it Triangle Strategy, because that's not a very appealing thing to say. Oh yeah, my game of the year was Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, that name kind of I heard that part, and it sounded a little strange to me. But
yeah,
from what I saw, was that like gameplay that they were showing off?
Yeah, so they showed like kind of what the game is. They showed gameplay, and then they dropped a demo as well. So it's got that same aesthetic. That's like just, I don't even know how to describe it because there's nothing quite like it. But it's pixel art, but also kind of 2D, 3D, really nice lighting effects. Just watch the trailer. It's such a beautiful, beautiful game. And then it's a same sort of vibe. Like there's these kingdoms kind of at war or whatever, and you're playing as different characters. But instead of being a turn-based strategy, it is a grid strategy game, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, or it's not really like Fire Emblem. It's more like Final Fantasy Tactics, where instead of like your phase, enemy phase, it's like every unit kind of goes individually. Right. But yeah, they released a demo yesterday, and I downloaded it and played for like an hour or so, and it's really good. Like I was open to the idea of this new like combat system because I like Fire Emblem so much, and it's great. Kirklin, you should check out this demo.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye when I saw it. It looked really cool and really unique.
Yeah, and it's like the demo throws you in the middle of the game, so it's pretty intense. Like you start with like 9 characters, and you're trying to figure it all out. So I mean, in the actual game, you assume it'll kind of work its way into that more complex stuff, but the demo itself was really, really good. And it's definitely a day one purchase for me, and it was a big surprise because I thought they were working on something else. So this was, to me, the big surprise. Unfortunately, it's not coming out till next year, so you're gonna have to wait a bit. But it's like jumped up my list as some of my most anticipated games now. Yeah, so everyone should check out the demo because it's free. So you might as well.
That's awesome. I feel like we're kind of getting away from demos, unfortunately. Remember back in the day, you'd get like a disc. Get like a PS2 demo disc. I remember having that for God of War.
I just saw an Emily about my Tarzan demo disc as a kid for PlayStation 1. It was banger.
Yeah.
Three
those always had just like weird random games on them that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's been doing a lot of demos actually, and a lot of them carry over, like your progress carries over to the main game if you get the full game. So shouts to Nintendo for doing that. And I don't know, like they announced Splatoon 3, which I don't think any of us here play. I played the first one. I quite liked it.
Travis didn't even know there was a second one.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I think it came out within the first year of the Switch life cycle. So
I was like, Taylor, you're wrong. Like Splatoon 3. I'm like, no, it's 2. He's like, no, 2 came out in 2017 of July. But I'm like, really? So.
And there's some trippy stuff going on. Like the trailer is like just in this post-apocalyptic world, and it's like very slow and like drab and not at all what I was expecting. But
I thought it was Battle Royale Splatoon, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently Splatoon just has some really deep lore and like a really dark story that I didn't know about. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll get it. It's also next year game, so I don't think we kind of saw some gameplay, but it kind of looks the same as other Splatoon stuff. And then I mean, Taylor, what did you think of that Star Wars Hunters game? I mean, it was like
they showed nothing.
The tiniest reveals of all time.
Like, yeah,
have you heard of this game before? Is this a new thing?
No, like this is them literally, I think, just grabbing they're taking full advantage of the fact that EA has not got exclusivity rights anymore. So because this is like by Zynga Games, which does like mobile and stuff like that.
Zynga.
Zynga Games, yeah, and
Zynga Games.
I don't know how I feel about it because like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is like a Galaxy of Heroes expansion. I can get on board with this. And then it just looked like, okay, it's taking place between episodes 6 and 7, and I think it's free to get to play. Now I'm not
Probably
sure
like a free online shooter thing.
I
Right?
think they said it was like a free like third person shooter or something like that, but then it's like I guess it's like an arena style, so there's a little bit of mixed information on it. I need to figure out what exactly it is, but judging by like the holograms of the characters, it looked like to me that you're collecting characters kind of like Galaxy Heroes, but I don't know.
no.
I don't know what they've got in store. If it's a free Star Wars game, then it's probably not going to be like top tier like your Battlefronts or your Fallen Order or anything like that.
We know what Taylor is about that, though. You know. Shout out to M. Livy Christian says new sub here, so very cool. Thank you very much.
Well,
Marvel Universe, I did see you in the chat. We were just in the middle of a conversation, so I didn't want to cut Dylan off and just be like, "Hey, do you think Justice League is gonna sell?" And then he says, "Are we talking about Justice League?" That was that we have talked about Justice League. It's at the very beginning. So anybody
We'll talk
right
about
now,
it
if you're tuning
again
in,
for you.
just do the whole. So you guys, what do you think about the trailer? No, go to the very beginning. We talked about the trailer and our thoughts and stuff like that. We're just at other topics now. So there you go. You play back, or you can catch the audio feed. The audio feed drops tomorrow on GeekVerse. So there you go. Let's see. Do you think we live in a society? Oh, of course we live in a society, Levi. Is that on direct?
The last thing I'll shout out. So obviously Nintendo always shows off like 100 games that are being ported to the Switch finally, or just old ass games that are coming to the Switch. So I'm not going to talk about those, but there's one. Outer Wilds is coming to the Switch, I think, in the next couple months. That was my game of the year 2019. One of the best, most creative games I've ever played in my life. So I mean, if you haven't played that yet, and for some reason the other platforms was holding you back, go play that on Switch because it is one of the most creative and ambitious games of all time. And I think it's probably like $20-$30 or something like that. So a little bit less expensive. So there you go.
Better than the Skyward Sword remake.
Yeah, you should play that, Kirkland, before you play the Skyward Sword remake.
I didn't know it was $80, so that definitely changes my my tune.
Yeah, I don't want to kill the hype, but that's what Nintendo
it's
does.
better you did it now than like 2 days before I'm about to go get it, and then I'm like, what?
The thing is, that's still gonna sell like 5 million copies at that price, so they're gonna do it every time.
Damn Nintendo.
Taylor, you got some Call of Duty stuff you want to talk about?
I do. I just want to say I never in a million years thought there would ever be a time where I'd have Travis saying oh, we're gonna have to shuffle things around, do Call of Duty stream, and I never ever thought he'd be excited about Call of Duty DLC when I get to talk about it. It's amazing how things change, and here we are. So we got some juicy Call of Duty DLC. Call of Duty
Some
Cold War.
backstory before you go. I was telling Taylor, I was like, oh, just because lately we've been doing we'll play on the weekends, and we'll start playing 10 or 11. I'm like, okay, just an hour or two, and then it's fucking 3 a.m. in the morning. We're still going, so it's okay. I gotta stop here. I want to get some stuff done, get some sleep, and it's just when I'm out, they pull me back in because this fucking update's coming out next Thursday. We're gonna do a stream if it all works out. We're gonna do a stream from PST about 8 p.m. to about midnight, because then we can stop right before WandaVision, and then we'll review that for you guys. But yeah, we'll be doing a stream. So
next Thursday. Do you just say next Thursday I get to sleep?
You do, yes. So that was Golden Geeks, but we're gonna look and move it around just because to the launch day, that's when we'll get the most traction as far as stream. So Taylor, what is coming that Thursday?
Yeah, so season 2 of Call of Duty Cold War is popping off here, and it looks like it's got an interesting wave of content. So we did get a teaser of a jungle theme map in an earlier trailer, and now it seems and again, it's hard for me to confirm exactly what we're getting, because it's saying here we're getting in Warzone a dark wave approaches Verdansk, and it looks like obviously you see the prison, and I'm assuming in Resurgence and Rebirth Island, you can see that big cruise ship, but freight ship out in the water. You can see it from security area, Travis, if you remember what I'm talking about. There's a big ship out there. So I guess my knowledge, that boat has made its way to Verdansk.
Whose boat is it?
Whose boat is it, Feige? I don't know what the story is that they're doing, but from their new trailer they put out today, it looks like there's a whole bunch of new areas underground that's opening up in Verdansk, I think. And then I'm not sure how this boat plays into effect, if it's like a new map or if it's an expansion of Verdansk. Again, I'm not sure. That being said, they're also adding a new Warzone mode called Resurgence Extreme, and Travis is all about Resurgence. So this Resurgence Extreme it sends shivers down my spine. Because Resurgence alone is hectic enough, and with Extreme added to it, oh my god.
So I want to, because Jessica won't know. So I want to test the waters of the room. So Resurgence is that like it's the smaller map, the circle closes a lot quicker, and the revives happen every 30 seconds. When you hear Extreme, what do you think it is? Because my two theories were either it means it's a smaller map, or the revives are gonna be even quicker, and you get like 15 seconds. I think it'll be the smaller map one, but I want the 15-second ones because that would just be fucking pandemonium if like people are just reviving. Like what does Extreme mean? You know?
I don't think it'd be a smaller map. I think if anything, it'd be like you said, faster revives.
Really? Okay.
Maybe just like more common to get like kill streaks or whatever. But also they might just make it more people on the smaller map.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Yeah, that's my guess.
So we also have the zombies side of this now too, which is super, super exciting because they have, it looks like, yeah, so they have the event Outbreak, and I'm really curious what that is because obviously Call of Duty Black Ops is like Treyarch's Zombies is like notably just one of the greatest, my opinion, like first person zombie experiences.
He's just outright spin facts. Oh, it's one of the greatest things ever made in mankind. It's next to the Bible.
But it's always been such a unique zombies experience ever since like high school. It was just so classic, and for them to be bringing it into this this aesthetic and this mode, it doesn't look like it's going to at all be the zombies experience that we had in October in Warzone. This is going to be something different, and it's going to be much more like your Treyarch zombies. And from the trailer, again, it looked like you're squatting up, you're going through the terrain, and you just have the hordes of zombies.
Squatting. I think he said squatting. I'm like, why are you squatting? Here we go.
While you squad. So it just looks crazy. I'm really hoping that it's basically battle royale with tons of other teams in play, and essentially just like hundreds of these hordes of zombies just in the mix, and you got to be getting loot while you can and just be surviving the enemy teams as long as you can while fighting them, and just driving around in vehicles. Like, again, what I want so bad, that would be so good, is if I have my helicopter and we're all squatted in and we're flying the helicopter, and I got my freaking my tunes going on because I love the tunes. Actually, okay, side tangent.
Oh, now he's rocking 80s rock and roll.
I know, I have side tangent. So this is really funny because there's literally nothing we could do except laugh. When we were playing, me, Travis, and Emily were playing Resurgence, and I got in the helicopter, and I have Take On Me, like, just playing, and I picked up Emily and I picked up Travis, and we just got off to a shitty start. It was fucking chaos, and we're getting shot everywhere. I didn't know where to go, and all you hear is just loud, like take on me, take. Like, just
the loudest we were all using headsets, the loudest you've ever heard Take On Me, and like you couldn't hear any shots or anything. It was just going ham.
Bullets hitting the helicopter like crazy. Everywhere was hot. We couldn't go anywhere. It was so funny. But yeah, that just in zombie mode, just please do it. And it looks like obviously we have a zombies outbreak challenge, so every season with Call of Duty, it seems like now they put out a new map or experience, and you basically go through all these different find these things on the map to unlock new cosmetics and weapons, stuff like that. So I'm so excited with what they're doing with this. This is just like, I'm like salivating for all of this content. This is just, I'm so juiced.
Get juiced.
Can't even talk.
Drink some water. Drink some water.
Do we address what's going on in the live chat right now?
What's going on in the chat?
I posted it in the Zoom conversation. You know, it's GeekVerse.
Oh no.
Jessica has some fans. I love how that progressed Marvel Universe. Levi complimented Jessica being pretty, and then you said "Stop it, you creep." But then 2 comments down, you say "Hello, Jessica."
I'm not gonna lie, I closed YouTube.
I tried. I'm like, check the chat, please. So as Taylor was talking, I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And then Information Reality says, "Hello, new viewer here," and then "Hello, at Jessica." So there you go. So
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so there you go. So anything else to shout out as we round up to show? Thank you everyone new that joined. Check out usually today we did the newscast on Thursday, but Wednesday we usually do them. So we'll be back next week talking about some hijinks and news. But this is why you watch the video version, folks. Don't be shy. Go watch the video version. So, ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else to show? Anything else we've missed? Anything else you want to talk about? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Everyone buy Hitman 3. It's amazing.
There you go. I'm jealous. One day it'll be in my hands. I'll be killing some people in the video game, not anything
Escalated
else.
quickly.
Yeah. Well, as we said at the beginning, the plugs are there. You know where to find us. If you don't know where to find us, go head down in the description, and all our links are there as far as audio, video, Patreon. If you want to support us, help grow more content, more shows, please head over there. Thank you to everyone that joined the live chat. Got a little lively there at the end. If you're in the live chat, and if you're staying up for WandaVision, we'll be up in a couple hours reviewing that, so it'll be fun. But yes, thank you very much. When you hear from us next, it'll definitely not be boring. Taylor, you can kill that feed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.